Good to see you. I don't know why my mic just muted on its own. Good to see you guys. Yeah, hold on. I think my YouTube is on 1 second. Okay, yeah, I have it on in the background. Yeah, I don't know why it just muted, so let me mute that channel. Okay. Okay, good, perfect. You can hear me. And the YouTube is looking in reverse. Let me just change that because now it's throwing me off. 1 second here. I changed. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. Good morning to you. Blessings. Let me just change the camera. I don't know why. I thought it would show that way on YouTube, and it's not. So it's the opposite. Okay. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm just drinking my tea. Grand Rising, Sina Renee's. Blessings to you. Good to see you guys this morning. I haven't seen some of you in a while, in a minute, but I know fall is a busy time. Hold on, let me open my biscuits. Let me drop the link before I forget. Second copy. And we can go through some articles shortly, but wait for some more people to pop in. Let them wake up. This morning I was only up on time because the raccoon, which I'll tell you in a minute when more people are here. Good. Blessings to you, Psalm 146. Blessings to Sock Explorer. Sorry, you're going to hear crackling. I'm opening the rest of my tea biscuits. I feel like having a little something with my tea today. Yes, you shouldn't eat in front of people, but you know, we're family, right? Crunch, crunch, crunch. So, how's everybody doing this grand morning? How's the weather where you're at? I didn't fix the weather, so sorry on the Nightbot. And for those who are here, you can type hashtag urban in the chat and it will drop your link. So you're free to drop the link in the chat to advertise your channel. I'll type it in there so you guys can see if you're not. And then you just type that in the chat. It is tea biscuits. No, it's not Shirley. I find Shirley too sweet. I find things that are on the lower spectrum. So I don't eat Shirley. I will eat digestive biscuits. Greetings and blessings, good eats, Homestead. And that's what I do now. I have to watch my sugar intake. Okay, my phone is charged. So let me just get myself together. Blessings, G Mama. How's it going over there? I have to go harvest some cabbages and stuff, but get your tea, guys, or coffee, whatever you need, and we'll get into discussion in a minute. I'm just giving a few moments to people to kind of wake up, log in, get the notifications. If you're not subscribed, remember subscribe. And I had to put the subscriber mode on my lives now. As you know, a lot of people are having some problems with the bots and the spamming and stuff. So just gonna put that on for now because we don't want the hassle of having to deal with that. And sometimes mods aren't here, and I'm not always up with the chat. I'm not always keeping my eye on it. So let me see. Let you guys see. Yep, G Mama's in the house. Okay, so I'm just saying good morning to everybody. Thank you. Yes, Phoebe's reminding y'all to hit that like button on their way in. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Even if you're not gonna participate in the chat, just try to subscribe. It helps the channel out, helps get the content out to more people. When you thumbs up and you subscribe, something happens in the algorithm and helps out. So thanks for popping in. And I dropped the link. Let me go on the YouTube and I won't pin it just yet. I'll leave it alone. Anything new and exciting anybody wants to share about their gardens before we start, or Hey, blessings, D Macro. Thanks for popping in. Let's see what Psalms is saying. It's cold as a penguin's beak over here. It dropped down to 32 Fahrenheit, which I don't know what that is because I do Celsius. So let me convert that. I think that's cold. It's 32 Fahrenheit to Celsius because I don't think Nightbot's working. Oh, 0. That's cold. 0 degrees Celsius is 32. So that is cold. Yes, that is a drastic drop. Blessings, Lashes. Good to see you here. And last night was a horrible night for me. I got like 12th place in Tori's brain games. It was very upsetting for me. I was like, I don't know what happened. And then I'm typing away, typing, and I know I typed the word 10 times and somebody else get the word. So me and Crafty Leo know that the game is rigged. I think the game at the back end, the computer is saying, you know what? You win too much or you type too much. They block me out so many times. How can you type too fast in a game where you have to be getting the word out first? Anyways, it was very upsetting. So that that was that. Yep, we're ready, rested and ready to tackle another day. I am anyways. This morning I was woken up. It's storming here right now, but humid. Oh, I think you guys are having the remnants of that storm. I think what's the storm's name? Whatever the storm's name is. I can't keep up with all these names. But it's the second storm for you guys, so hope everybody's okay. And that brings a lot of weather fluctuations because even though I'm not in the storm, it sends the cold and the stuff over here, the moisture and the wind over here. Yeah, this autocorrect does some foolishness. I'm telling you. Yeah, 12th place. I never get less than third. I said that and I said no. Third is the lowest I will tolerate. And I'm like, what? I was 9. Then I came back up. Then I had a couple of rounds. I couldn't even get one word on the screen. I'm like, what? And I know I typed the word before some people. And I was on live chat. It wasn't on top chat. So I know I'm like this teething game. Then I'm typing. Oh, Nicole. Typing. And it's like you're typing too much. You have too many comments in the chat. This wicked. That's why I was like, what number am I, Tori? Did you call my name? Because I blinked and I didn't see nothing. I'm like, on the first page. Yeah, I think I called your name. Yeah, number 12 at one point. I'm like, I'm gonna have to just go and have my snack. I was fed up. Yeah, it was hot. I'm very competitive. I'm a sore loser. I'm a sour loser. So I don't. Yeah, this game is so. Yeah, if you trust me. So it was fast, but it's fun. I always say I'm quit. I'm leaving, and as soon as I'm leaving, I'm like. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, Big Rooster. And funny enough, that was a good game. That Big Rooster. I went to Big Rooster after Tori's because there's a lot of channels that I don't even know, and he's giving all these little tips. So I'm gonna try to get to some more channels. I know some of you have been. I haven't been back around your channel in a minute, but I'm coming back around. You have to do them in batches. It's hard to go to everybody every day, so I'm moving around. But Tori's brain games is like I'm there pretty much 3 days a week because that's a way for me to distress and to have some fun and to let my hair down. And I'm the one who brought D Macro and somebody else into the live into Tori's channel, and now they're taking over. I'm like, you know what? Can you leave, please? I shouldn't have invited you to the chat because now you keep beating me. So me and D Macro are sometimes competing with each other, like I'm gonna get you out. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Anyways, blessings, badass. Good to see you. So this morning I was woken up at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by a thump clump. And blessings to you, Cassandra. And if you're not connected to other people, check them out. If you like what you see, check them out and subscribe. I don't do the force thing, but check each other out and you can drop #urban to drop your link. Bean Juice Galore. That must be African. Someone was trying to figure out who that was. It's either African Dreaming or somebody. Coffee Biscuits and Bean Juice for all. Good morning. Does that not give you gas, bean juice? Well, good morning to you. I was woken up this morning at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by a clump thump. So I have this makeshift thing to block the staircase from the deck going down to the patio. The deck is off my bedroom. So it's a walkout deck. I heard a thump. I've been hearing it for a few nights, but tonight they picked the wrong night. Like when a woman's fed up, there's nothing you can do about it. That's a true statement. So I looked out my bedroom window. I couldn't see nothing. Okay, good. The weather's working again. I guess it fixed itself because I didn't fix it. So you can type the weather in the chat, guys, like G Mama just did, and it will tell you your local weather in Celsius and Fahrenheit for those of us who need Celsius, me, and we can see what's going on. And only 3 emojis per comment because Nightbot will time you out. So do not type too many emojis in your comments, please. Thank you. And again, yeah, hashtag urban. Oh, there's gonna be snow in Ohio. I'm telling you, the snow is coming. I can feel the crispness in the air. Okay, so I have a makeshift, like a big bucket that's heavy. The other night it was knocked over. So I'm like, you know what? They're starting to really piss me off. These raccoons starting to piss me off. Her name is Obese Denise because she's fat. I went to the other bedroom to get a better vantage point, and I'm looking, and I don't have the best night vision, so it's kind of hard to see. And I don't see anything moving. I'm like, okay, I don't see anything. Then I see something coming from kind of under the deck, but not really. So there's a skid there I put a skid there, and I'm putting some of my pots and my grow bags there for the winter so they don't freeze to the ground and they don't get damaged. So there's a skid there. Good morning, Nikki. So I saw Obese Denise, the raccoon bandit, the midnight bandit, and then I saw somebody behind her. I'm like, offspring? So me get up now because now I'm upset because you're ruining my sleep because 5 a.m. is the best. That's like the last hour of sweet sleep. That's when you get the best sleep. I wasn't impressed. I got up in my pajamas and my sleep bonnet, not the daytime bonnet, the sleep bonnet. And I took out my machete. I took her out the case. I have her in a sheath next to the bed. And I took the machete out and I walked to the front door and put on my flat ballerina slippers. Who's wearing ballerina slippers at 5 a.m. with pajamas? Went out the front door and I'm trying to get my phone to record. Fumbling with the phone because the flashlight won't stay on when the camera's on and I couldn't figure out what I'm doing and I'm recording and it's just pitch black. I go to the gate right at near my front door to go into the backyard. Who do I see? Or what do I hear? Because Obese Denise is trying to crawl up the fence and she was kind of behind the cedar tree, so I didn't see her. So I was ready just to walk out. She could have just pounced on me at that point. Who knows what would have happened? But anyways, I had my machete. I'm like, so then I see her there. So now I'm not even whispering because it's supposed to be quiet. It's 5 a.m. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, blam, 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 hitting the fence, making pure noise. I'm pushing the tree down. I said, you're gone too far this time. And then she's looking at me. So I go to the back now. Come on, I want to see what's going on. And I guess the baby was hiding. And while I'm at the back now, looking around, seeing what's going on, the baby ran towards the front of my house down the walkway because I left the gate open. Ran out. Don't know where she went. I think the mother must have went around the back of the neighbor's house and called, youngin, come over here, come on this side. She's mad in she head. Yeah, I'm mad in my head. Tired of being woken up in the middle of the night with your foolishness. She does not have to go on the deck. There's no food on the deck. There's a sofa there, but she's using it as a walkthrough. That's actually longer than just going up and down the staircase on the lawn in the middle of the back. No. She wants to make sure me here says she there and that she run things in this backyard. So I had to get up out of my sleep to tell her, say, me run things in this backyard. I'm the queen of this castle. Come anyhow, you come over here today. I want to slice and dice. Meatball galore. I'm just slicing in the air randomly, slicing, hitting table, hitting column, banging pots, making pure noise. The neighbor's probably going to call the police, but I don't even care. I'm looking for more babies now. I'm like, raccoons don't have one baby. They're like rats. They have like a pack of 10. So I'm gonna go under the deck today. 'Cause I always look under the deck. I don't see nothing under there, living under there. But maybe there's a little crevice or a corner that she has some kind of something going on. So she left, and she's probably very upset with me because it's like, yeah, stop coming to my backyard, stop making noise, stop carrying on with your foolishness. And then, as you know, I'm trying to get the cluck clucks to come, So that's the story with obese Denise. And I don't know if it's a she or a he, but it must be a she because she had the baby behind her. And I've never seen a raccoon with only one baby. Usually it's 3 to 5, right? So I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, she's a real person. Do you think these animals are just animals? They have person. The animal looked at me and gave me a side eye. Like, how dare you come out of here? This is our time to be roaming the streets. I'm like, listen, little hoe over there. Keep your hoeing over there. Don't come over here with that. She's coming over here breeding, meeting her boyfriends, raising her children, eating my food, damaging my stuff. Like, I had enough. So yeah, I gave her a name because she has a name. So I was irritated because you're waking me up and I'm really close to getting the cluck clucks. And I watched somebody else's video, and I heard this before, but I'm now taking it more seriously because somebody said, I was watching him, he lives off grid, that he had 3 complaints against him, not YT viewers who watch his channel, who decided to figure out where he lives and call the city or the county or whatever you want to call them to make complaints against him. And it happened 3 times. And the sheriff came to his house, the inspector came to his property, his acreage, and then somebody else. And he read, hey, blessings juicing with Jay. So he was sharing basically to tell people what he does on his property is, number one, his business. And he's not breaking any rules. He checked the permits, the codes. He's doing the right thing. But people want to be up in your business. So the sheriff came, the inspector came. He's not breaking any rules, not nothing's illegal, nothing's out of zone or out of code. More neighborly. Oh, no. Hold on, before I go back to that story, I have another story, but you just reminded me, Nikki, of another story. These animals are rude, so no neighborly over here. So anyways, the man basically said, be careful what you're sharing because I'm getting cluck clucks, but I'm not really supposed to. So I may not be showing the cluck clucks on my channel if people are that wicked and vindictive that they're going to kind of find where you are or what area you live in and are going to file a complaint against you so that you lose what you have. And you're just trying to be self-sufficient and you're trying to be, take care of yourself. And I don't want to have to deal with that. So I am getting the cluck clucks, but I may not be sharing it on my channel if people are going to be that wicked. That's just a sidebar because I'm not going through all this work to be self-sufficient. I talk to my direct neighbors. They have no problem with it, but somebody online could have a problem with it and say, well, she's not following the rules and rules are made to be followed and blah, 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 blah. You follow the rules over where you are over there. If my direct people who are next to me don't have a problem with it, I'm not hurting nobody. And also it's only bothering me, and I'm making sure that everything is clean, smelling fresh and nice. I'm going to be, extra organized and clean to make sure there's no mice. I'm putting poison. Like, I'm doing what I have to do to not be a bother to my neighbor. And be willing to share her garden goodies, but she's too she don't share nothing. If she was hunting the mice, then fine. So just blessings up at a certain age. And anybody that I missed, sorry, I probably just didn't see you. But yeah, so people are complaining on people and calling the city and people who are not even in your country or in your state. Like, you have too much time on your hands. So I'm deciding basically as of now, I may not share certain things. If I get monetized and have a membership, I may share with the quote unquote members. But in terms of my content, I'm not going to necessarily put it up there because I know I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. And people who know that will use that against me. So just to give you guys a heads up. Now, as terms of being nice to the animals, as per Nikki, hell no. I was here working right here in this chair. Hold on, let me check my chair because something's broken on this wheel. I have to remember to fix it. And I hear like a ruffle, ruffle to my, to my right, maybe your left, and then the window over there. I open the veranda door. The damn squirrel with all her newspaper and leaf, but she's gonna build nests over here. Do I look like I want any more tenants over here? I had to go out there and fling off the paper and fling off the leaf and spray her with some spray buckle. I don't even know what was in there. Could have been bleach. I don't even care. And she run, she gone with her tail looking at me like, oh my God, yeah. You don't pay rent here. You did not ask for permission to don't be coming over here. Anyways, she now come back later because it's raining to get shelter from the rain. If you weren't welcome the first time, why are you coming back over here? And people just like, these animals have no respect. But yeah, people can be wicked. So this is what's going on over here. Yeah. So when I saw that man who is following the rules, who had that issue, why would I put myself out there who's not following the rules? So yeah, we're moving forward. We're ready to go. And if I have to take out a raccoon who's coming after my clucks, I'll take out the raccoon. And people may be upset about that and say, oh, call PETA and animal rights against me. And listen, so since I'm seeing that people are that vindictive and wicked, I'm going to take a step back with when it comes to that. I would have loved to be sharing it and open, especially when some of you guys who have livestock are going to be helping me and giving me tips and stuff, but I won't be able to necessarily share it because if I don't share it, you can't really say I have or don't have because you don't know. It's just that will just be gossip. Um, yeah, that happened to blacks, but I think blacks, from what she said, Cherie said, it started raining a lot and there was a smell, so it could have been her direct neighbors um that complained about the smell of the pigs, and then in turn the chickens and everything, exactly, it opened up the door for them to come on the property and then cause more havoc. But that's why I asked my neighbors, and I'm only doing livestock that's reasonable, basically, so chickens and quail, because that's not, even if you have the right permits and it's legal for you, the people that are not like-minded always, yeah, they're always going to have an issue. They're always going to complain. But when they can complain and get the city against you, and then you have to give up your livestock. Juicing with Jay won't let his neighbors. I know. I saw Jay's video with he bought something to stop the dog from barking. But that's part of the problem too. People's dogs can bark all day and all night and bother you, but you can't have a rooster. But they're both annoying. So people, the city picks and choose what's acceptable and what's not, what's a pet, what's not a pet, and so on and so forth. I think, hey, Renaissance, blessings, Renaissance Grandma, I didn't see you there. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna not be sharing too much. But I was laughing because Jay has a dog, so I'm not sure. What did he buy again? He bought some kind of frequency thing. So won't that bother your dog? I'm not sure. I found it kind of funny. I see Jay shopping on Amazon and putting together something, and he opened the bathroom window and see here. You hear the dog barking. You hear him. You hear him. Yeah, another squatter. We put Pepper down at one of the properties for the Airbnbs because the dog was just coming over there. Blessings, Gina versus Gina. I see you there. And just too much rudeness and going to the bathroom and so on and so forth. So yeah, so that's my story about the animals and what's going on over here. But things are going on over here, and it's basically ready to move forward. And I'm glad I saw those videos right when I'm ready to like make it legit. So I may not be sharing certain things on when it's a membership. Yes, maybe that's maybe, but I'm not sharing certain things. I did not realize that people have no occupation, no responsibilities, and have time in their country to find out what I'm doing or other people are doing and find out where you live so that they can go and complain to your blessings, Tay Weezy. and see what you're doing so they can complain. And the sheriff and the inspector was like, I don't know how these people even know you. And when the man goes, oh, I have a YouTube channel. And they're like, oh. So they asked the man on his YouTube channel to express and explain that he's not breaking any rules and blah, 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 and reiterate the whole thing again, that what he's doing is not illegal. It's not against zone or any against building code or anything like that. And basically, like, stay in your lane. And somebody actually lied about what he was doing and said that he was throwing his raw sewage into the creek or some kind of lie, which is not true. And he had the complaint sent back to the sheriff, had to call because they went through the sheriff, their local sheriff of the complainant, whatever you call it, and they got charged with filing a false report. So serves them right, but it's yeah. I'm gonna go get some some snacks. Yeah, so this is what's going on in these streets. So just a heads up, if you're doing anything, blessings triple threat. If you're doing anything and it's not legit in your area, like you're not really allowed to do it, but you're not bothering anybody and your neighbors don't mind, be careful about putting it on social media, because people are out here trying to hunt us down and give us problems. Garden lime and coffee grinds. Did I miss something, Sina? Did I miss you talking to me or somebody else? Is that to get rid of the right? They must go because they are not exactly. So they don't consider some things pets, and some people say they are pets. So they're gonna be my pets, but they're gonna happen to give me eggs. That's what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna have to not be so open with what I'm doing if people are so bad minded and wicked, because you can't even find who's complaining. That's what makes it even so irritating. You cannot find who the complainant is. They could be in another country. It could be, let's say it's Nikki who's complaining. I don't know if it's Nikki. She's in another country, whole over. She can hide behind ambiguity. She can hide behind anonymity and say that this person, and tell them I'm on YouTube and show them the video with me with the things, and she knows I'm allowed to have them, and blah blah blah, and I'm in a big hot water and I can't even pinpoint who did it. Those are the worst kind of enemies to have, the hidden ones. So let me go through a few articles that I found. Hey, African. Oh, I thought African. I thought you were under here as Bean Juice. So who's Bean Juice? Is that David Corey? Someone's Bean Juice. I don't know what's going on. Somebody open a profile with Bean Juice. Yeah, people be tripping. So, hey, blessings, Fat Ninja. And if I missed you guys, I'm sorry. Sometimes my eyes don't. I saw your little Shih Tzu. No barking from my pup. I respect my neighbors, but they dogs are disrespectful. Yeah. You can share it, but don't show your. Yeah, I'm trying to be. Yeah. So I have to be conscientious of that, because I don't want to go through all that work and effort, which is a lot of work and effort. Oh, okay, I get it. Thank you. Sina keeps us, so the garden lime and the coffee grind, and I do have lots of coffee grounds. I don't have lime, but I can get some, and I'm gonna get diatomaceous earth, which says it helps with that. And yeah, but I think it's lime, because the lime is the same as what I found, the dry stall they use for horses. It can be used for other animals as well. Okay, so there's some of the articles I found this week, and I dropped the link. So if you guys want to, yeah, Nikki Snitch, um, Denise, yeah, she could be. Blessings to you, Mama's handprint, and anybody else who's here. If you didn't mention it before, if you didn't hear, you can drop your links. #urban. You can drop your link if you're a content creator and you want people to be able to access your link and see, your content, because there may be people here or even in the bushes hiding that would want to connect with you. And lurking list, exactly. Thumbs up the video if you haven't done so already, please and thank you. It's on subscriber mode now because of other issues people have been having with bots and trolls. So this is to try to mitigate that going forward. So it's on subscriber mode. And thank you to all who have been helping with my watch hours. Somebody asked me this week what I had, and I had checked before. It was about 1,600, but something told me to check again before I answered her. And when I checked, it was 2,500. So that was yesterday, I believe. Two people asked me, one on email, one on comment. So I need 1,500 more watch hours. So they're running my playlists. I know that for sure. So let me check it right now and see. It doesn't show any change. I guess they don't show it right away, but I know that they're running my playlist. So I need 1,500 watch hours. So those of you who are able to help, you can know the number and what we're working towards to get um, the full 4,000 so I can get monetized. And the goal is to also get membership. Now, as for the, okay, and I dropped the link. Let me drop it one more time. And before I even go there, this week was a good week in terms of, I like to mention like YouTube content that I watched this week. This week was hilarious. I think it started on last Saturday with which we talked about on yesterday, Carbon Q's live. And I don't know what happened to the prepping, but between Bougie, Erica, and Carbon, it was talking about beavers and all kind of something. And that kind of went for the whole week. People kept bringing up and laughing. Well, thanks, Jay, for running the list. Uh, yeah, so that you guys know what we're working with. We're almost there. So somehow during the last few days, someone's been playing it because it was at 1,600. Now it's almost 1,000 more. So yeah, but yeah, between that, Monday was My Fly Family. I watched them, and they were talking about sometimes my memory, the exact title escapes me, but they were talking about people who take from you, like during, like, like SHTF or whatever. It could be a hurricane, a tornado. People who come to your house and take because they know you've been prepping. They know you've been um you have stuff over there. So that was a good conversation, and that's something that we'll be talking about repeatedly, because that's part of prepping, is prepping for people who are going to come after you, um to sometimes even just to hurt people. There are people who take pleasure, that you're voluntary. Yeah, takers. They have, I think they have another name. I heard another name. People talk about them like pirates. There's some kind of term like they called them, that they don't prep and they wait around so they can take from other people, but they call them, but yeah, there's a term somebody used. I can't remember the term now, but people like that who greetings and blessings, Coach Mary Ma. Takers and shakers, yeah, too. So just talking about that, because this is part of what we're doing. I like to move in silence. Have some tea. I like to move in silence because the more people know, the more you're at risk, the more dangerous it could be, because sometimes people say things in passing, myself included. We say things in passing. Yeah, I think it's wolf. Something they call wolf. Yeah, that's it. Wolf preppers. Thanks, good eats. And that's exactly. And the wolves hunt in packs. And I think Triple has said before, like when people come to your house to rob or do whatever, it's not a solo person anymore. It's a wolf pack of people. And just we talked about that on Monday, but it's a reoccurring conversation. Pirates, exactly. And people say things in passing, like, oh, if you want something, go over there. They got, chickens. They got that, like, in passing. And before you know it, five people have told five people, and the whole area knows that you have chickens, ducks, and what you have and what you do. And it's like, so you have to move some things in silence, and you have to even hide things from your your core group. If they know that you keep your preps over there, you have some other secret preps somewhere else that they don't even know about. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do, is I'm trying to have things all over in different spots that I can go and get to quite easily, either on foot by car or even a bicycle if need be. Have things in a good area stored nicely that I don't have to check on them too frequently. Um, and just and I was just sitting down yesterday. I went to Taco Bell. Don't ask me why I went there. I don't really eat it often, but I wanted something that was meatless. I didn't want to have any meat, and they have that bean stuff, so I got a bean something. So I'm in the parking. Blessings, crafty Leo. I'm in the drive through. I put my order through, and I'm going waiting my turn to get served. And I saw a rabbit, and I saw something else, and I saw something else, and sitting there thinking, even though I'm in the city, we've been talking about this as well. There's a lot of food if you're a meat eater, of food to hunt and to get. And these animals are roaming around eating scraps and stuff. So it's not hard when you start looking through a different lens. It's not really hard to find food. We can find food. That's why I don't even let my neighbors know. Yeah, exactly. I don't let them know what I'm doing. They may know that I have like extra gas, and even then, they know it's in the shed at the back for the lawnmower. They don't know that I have a big jugs, and I'm trying to get things really prepped. I don't want people to know stuff because they will say things in passing. Even my family will say things in passing. I let people know about the cluck clucks, but now I'm not gonna let people know about my cluck clucks. And if I do, fine, but I may have another flock somewhere out. Like, I'm not gonna be so like, yeah, I have this or I have that. I'll talk in generalities, but I'm not gonna let people know what I have. People who only my YouTube people will know, okay, I'm canning, because you're gonna see me doing videos on canning and whatever, but no one's gonna know how many cans of stuff I have, where I'm putting them, that kind of stuff. No, I'm gonna have to keep that really under lock and key. Somebody had a comment that I just miss. Blessings, Elizabeth Brown. I see you there. Sorry, the chat just jumped and I missed, and then it went to the end, and I want to go back to where it was. Give me a second here. Okay, so thank you guys who have commented they're going to run my playlist. Thank you, greatly appreciated. I'm almost there. Um, Let me just see what happened here. Okay, you got your coffee. Okay, I have my tea. So we talked about that. Tuesday was an excellent conversation on Triple's channel, mental health and wellness. And, you know, it's a very, again, that's another reoccurring conversation. It's not just a one time talk about and that's it. You got to keep, talking about things. People came on the panel and offered some great perspectives. Devil Dog, I know he was up there talking about the veteran, and that was very timely because yesterday was Remembrance Day. You guys call it Veterans Day. We call it Remembrance Day. And we're talking about mental health. And things are always divinely timed, I find, because people don't even know who they can talk to. He had a card on the screen that shows, where veterans can get help. And I know there's another YouTuber who talks about what rights veterans have and what programs are available that you may not even know about. So just, it was good to oh, thank you, Fifi. It's good to know what's available to you and to know that it's good to talk about some stuff. If you don't want to go to a quote unquote therapist, they do have support groups that you can talk to. I went to a support group for grieving when I lost my mom, and unfortunately, the support group ended abruptly because it was a pandemic and then you weren't allowed to meet in person. And that particular group didn't even go virtually. I don't even know what happened. It just, I guess the lady kind of dropped the ball. But I think I'm going to go back because I think they have it online now. Some other places have it virtually, or you can go in person. But I think I'll just do it virtually and then finish the grief counseling, because even though it's been a while, it's good to go through the process and understand the stages of grieving and just talk it out with other people who have lost somebody and who is still grieving. So when I went to the group session, the grief group, I guess it's called, and it doesn't matter who you lost. It could be a spouse, it could be anything. It's just for grief. Um, we had just lost her, and other people in the group were like 6 months into their grieving and had just joined the group. So it doesn't there's no time limit. oh, it's been long enough. No, maybe you're still stunted because you haven't really gone through the proper grieving process. You've kind of gotten back to work because you had no choice, because you only have certain amount of time off. You only have certain amount of bereavement. You get back into life, yes, but maybe you haven't really gotten back into life. So that kind of, I was thinking about it from before for about a month, and then the live on Tuesday, I'm like, maybe I need to go back and finish my grief counseling. Sorry, very smart advice. I'm working on bug out bags and totally misunderstood. My children will thank. Exactly. Exactly. I'm not showing my greens anymore. I know Crafty keep. Oh. And even that, I don't. Yeah, certain things I'm not gonna show just because people will know where to come when they want stuff. So I gotta be careful. Let me see what I missed. But yeah, I'm gonna go. So that was a good conversation. So if you missed that conversation, it's Triple Threat Firearms. She did a live on Tuesday about mental health. Um, Mental health is not just some people over there and down the street. It's all of us have mental health. All of us have the capacity to be pushed to the edge, or we're bottling up stuff that we don't really trust anybody with, and that's not healthy either. But I do understand that you can't really trust certain people. You don't want to go back and hear it back. Oh, blessings to you, Rock, just living, thanks for popping through. I know how it is. Like, trust me, I don't trust a lot of people, and it's hard to find people you can trust. But if you're holding it in, it's not good either. Maybe you can even write it in a diary and then burn it. I don't know what's going to work for you, but find a group. And sometimes that's why many of us are gardeners. This is a gardening channel, but gardening has helped me through some tough times. That's when I really got into the gardening. It started off as just taking care of the lawn. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm reading while I'm talking, so I might be thrown off. But you know, I started taking care of the lawn, and then it worked. And then flowers, and then from flowers, I'm like, you know what? Too much flowers. I need some food. And then from food, I'm like, you know what? I need more flowers because it needs to bring in the pollinator. So it works in tandem. But sometimes you need to talk, and sometimes you don't trust people. Gardening is a good hobby because at least you can get out in nature. The vitamin. Somebody on Triple's live, I think it was Bob, mentioned that he started traveling to a hotter climate. His wife is from a tropical place, and the sun and the vitamin D and the climate and the walking and the exercise and just being there really helped him with his seasonal depression. I think that's something most of us really kind of deal with and don't realize, because I live in a cold climate. The daylight saving times has happened last week. It gets darker even earlier, and you have to have a lot of bright lights. Some people don't realize, like, extra bright lights. Everything is LED now in the house, bright, bright, bright. Um, so yeah. I think Judy Mama said something. I don't do well in groups. Yeah, I understand. But you do gardening. So you found something that gives you that peace and that quietness. So find what works for you, but some things need to be hashed, not everything. And it's not for everybody. Find what works for you, but some things do need to be hashed out, because sometimes you think you're the only one, especially when you're grieving. And some people think grieving a loss of a loved one should be done in a certain amount of time. Some people are 5 years, 10 years in and still can't do Mother's Day, can't do Father's Day, can't do certain things. They're still grieving, and they have to still go through certain conversations, get that reassurance. And sometimes groups doesn't mean like a grief counseling group or a therapy group. Sometimes it just means like a hobby group. So some people like to volunteer with kids, volunteer with seniors. Some people like to hunt. They join a hunting group where they can have like-minded people. And sometimes in turn, you may have conversations, or just being around people that it just helps you feel better. Just think about it, and watch that video. There's a lot of information from different viewpoints. um but yeah, try to find your village, find your tribe, and find what you need. Blessings to you, broke farmer. Good to see you. Find what makes helps you feel better. Don't suffer in silence. Don't think you're the only one, and you don't have to stay there. there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's not just a cliche. It's true. You just got to find your way there, and sometimes you need to get help. Oh, thank you, Coach Mary Ma. Sometimes you need help to get there. People talked about anxiety. Sometimes we think it's anxiety. I think I definitely have anxiety. Certain things I don't want to even do right away. I have to have time to kind of wrap my mind around it because it makes me anxious. It makes me, especially when you're a perfectionist, that can also tie into being anxious. So that was an excellent conversation, and I think that's going to be like one of many conversations because people are on this platform and on social media because they're looking for a community, because they have things that they just can't share with anybody else. And they're just trying to find people who are like-minded. Psalms is saying, let me see what you're saying. I was in a support group after losing our twins. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But it was really negative because all we did was complain about everything that happened during our week. Left it when I started attending. Okay, that's not a good support group. That's not support. That's a complaining group. But I'm glad you saw that right away. Yeah, there's a place to vent and complain, but what's the solutions? If you're not leaving with a solution based ideology, you're right. It's just a complaining group. It's not really a support. Support is to build you up and give you a foundation that you can build on. That's not really, yeah. You may like the VA's whole health program at Gmail. Okay, so I don't know what that is, but maybe that might. Yeah, and there's programs that are available and newer programs that we don't even know about because they've revamped some stuff. Yes, life activities distract you from grieving that can manifest exactly, and I think it manifests in other issues, and I need to go back to the drawing board and deal with some of those issues. To this day, I hate healthcare because I see, and I think I always hate them because I see how they treat people. But when it gets close to home, it's like, and a lot of people I know are nurses, and a lot of people in my life are nurses, but not all nurses should be nurses, like in any job. And nursing is very specific because you're caring for people at their worst. And some of the behavior and some of it's cultural, like they're just, man. The one thing I can say is if you're a nurse and you ain't got nothing good to say, just shut the hell up. Really and truly, just shut the hell up. Doctors, nurses, x-ray technicians, PSWs, I don't even care who you are. Just shut your mouth because you're saying negative words over people at their lowest. And sometimes it could get better, but because they've taken those negative words to heart, they get worse. So that's the one thing I told that don't say nothing negative over my mother. Nothing. Do what you're supposed to do and shut your mouth. If you can't say nothing good, just hum a song. Don't say nothing. Don't be on people and saying, oh, she looks like, I don't know. Just I've heard a lot of stuff and I don't like it, and it just turned me off because they can hear you. I don't care what they say. If they're in a coma, I believe they can hear you, and if they hear you through their human ears, they're hearing you through some other means. They're hearing what you're saying. Your words. There's scientific proof behind talking to plants. And you talk to one plant negatively, we've seen, hopefully you've seen the science, and negative and cursing the plant, and then another plant you talk to nice and loving, and they've seen the differences in the way the plant grows and responds. Do you not think that happens to your children and to people in schools and institutions when someone's constantly speaking negative? Even parents speak negative to their kids. Some parents are disgusting, talking negative, negative, negative. What do you think is going to happen if you always hear, you ain't going to be ish, you ain't ish, you ain't ish, you're just like your dad, you're just like, oh, you make me, oh, all the time. Do you think anything good's going to come from that? Come on. So, in all aspects of life, a lot of us need to keep our mouth shut because we're speaking things on people and you're just making it worse. Just shut up. Just don't say anything negative. Wish the best for them, but don't say things negative. Sorry, let me catch up to the chat. Gardening is awesome. I bet that's why my grandma used to talk to her rose. Yeah, I talked. I complain about these squirrels and these things, but I'm talking to my plants. I'm noticing insects. I'm seeing life. I'm seeing things, and I'm noticing things. I'm becoming more patient and more tolerant. I feel that peace. It's like, a whole process. Gardening is good for that. It's not just for gardening, for a lot of us is our therapy. Yes, he goes to the Philippines. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. For a reason. And for those of us who live in a cold climate, get the bright lights if that's going to help you feel better. Because I went out last night and by 5:30, it's dark, pitch black. In the morning, you get up, it's pretty much pitch black. So that affects you subliminally. It's not summer where you're up with the sun, it's dark. You go to dark. You're going out to run errands, it's dark. You're driving in it's just dark, 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 dark from November to February. That affects some of us. Some of us, you say, oh, no, I'm fine. For me, it does make me feel kind of sluggish. But, anyways, I'm not a group person either. I grieve alone and not for long periods of time. I guess cooking and crafting are outlets for me, though. Yeah, exactly. You did find an outlet. Cooking and crafting is an outlet. But I think I need to go to the group. Maybe not for the group part, but for the grieving curriculum, because I think I'm lashing out sometimes at people. When they start to mother me, it kind of pisses me off. Hey, African,
Hey, what's going on, sis? How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Doing the same, same. Man, you having a good conversation, that's always. And you 100% spot on about, we lived in Seattle for a long time, prior to moving over here. And bruh, it's dark for like 9.5, almost 10 months out the year. Uh when you go to work, it's dark. During your lunch break, the sun might be out. By the time you're on your commute home, you driving home in the dark again. It's
Hmm.
just, it does take a toll on you.
Yep, it does. It does. And winter, the shove, like the whole thing, it does take a toll. And people didn't we didn't know how to classify. We didn't even realize it was a problem until you started hearing about
Hmm.
SADs and seasonal, and then people started buying these bright lights at work. This lady had this bright light, like a almost like a ring light. And at work, she would just sit and look at the light for 5 minutes every couple of hours. That would give her
Right.
that dopamine or whatever they call it, and endorphins to kind of feel good
Hmm.
again. And then she would go back on. But now that we have the tools, how many of us are using the tools that are there for us to get through the seasons?
Oh, sorry, that was me.
No
A
problem.
lot
Oh,
of
you're
people don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. I went and got my phone so I can see the chat, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, a lot of. I mean, you got to recognize something is a problem before you can try and correct it. So until people say, "Oh man, this seasonal stuff is something really," it's really more to that other than just being soft or whatever. Uh, I mean, just being over here, the time we spent over here in Africa, because and you talking about some good stuff because I was dealing with a lot of depression prior to us getting here, and
Hmm.
just being in the sun, getting that vitamin D, walking, huge change in diet because we didn't have access to some of the conveniences of the U.S. I mean, it was like in the first 6, 7 months, I dropped like 40, 45 pounds from just being more active and getting the sun and started feeling better. And uh, yeah, man, I mean, you can't underestimate the natural uh, effectiveness of nature, if that makes sense. I mean, we sit in
Yeah, you're
cubicles, we sit
perfect
in our.
sense.
Uh, Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm saying you're making perfect exactly. You're making perfect sense. We've eliminated nature as if nature's not important or relevant, but it is. It is very relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the problems we're having, now don't get me wrong, some things require, medical intervention and science
Of
and
course.
pharmaceuticals, maybe kind of sometimes. But if we would just practice some basic principles, I think a lot, like even for like seasonal depression, it's like I found a solution and found things to kind of help that light because I need the light because I was feeling tired,
Mm-hmm.
lethargic, lazy, and then that feeling made me kind of want to eat more junk food, and the junk food made it worse
Right.
because now it's
Right.
like your your tolerance for certain things was very weak. So if somebody pissed me off, instead of me just brushing it off or saying that was rude, it would really kind of fester. And I'm thinking,
Right. Right.
why am I like acting like this? I had to even say like this is not really like I'm even getting sick of myself. Like you're acting
Mm-hmm.
like child like this moodiness, is this, that, and I'm like, okay, so something's got to change. Like I can't change the weather. I live where I live. I am where I am. How can I
Right. Right.
how can I make it better? And when I change everything to LED lights, like literally, like you open the light, it's bright, bright, bright. But in the winter, that's what I need
Mm-hmm.
because there's very little sunlight and it's overcast. And I can't, after 2 days of overcast behavior, I start to dip and I start to sleep longer
Right.
and you start to go to bed early
Yep.
because you're just, you can't put your finger on it. But it's not like somebody did something to me. It's not like I'm upset with somebody. It's just, it's the weather that's triggering some behavior. And then you add on
Mm-hmm.
top of that work stress, rude people, and it just puts you in a slump and you lose your optimism.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I lost my optimism. That's what kind of got me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. And like I think like Bob said, because we again he was talking about the Seattle area. You see folk I say around that same time of year he mentioned by December, February, uh, because it's been so cloudy and so overcast and it's dark for like 13, 14 hours out of the day.
Hmm.
uh you could tell people's moods. I mean, I could feel my own mood. um it's again a lot of it is unfortunately our circumstances. If you in an office or you work from home, um that's gonna make you less active than you would normally be. And it's so many components to, excuse me, how things got to where they are now. But if everything we can do to benefit our health along the way and reduce stress uh is crucial.
Sam's asking, does it hurt eyes to look directly at the light? Not always. It depends on the light. Like this one doesn't have a harsh, um, it's not harsh on my eyes, but sometimes just having it pointing on your face while you're watching TV or you're working. I work from home now, so have it shining on me. It helps. Um, it just helps. I can just tell it makes a difference. Um,
Yeah.
it's something with the brain. It's
Yeah.
some kind of signaling of your brain that light, like we need light. We're trying to kind of oh, blessings, Shelly. Good to see you here. It's like we're trying to go become so modern that we're missing the basic things. And when a lot of people get sick and end up in the hospital, that's when you realize, oh, eating healthy eating, like you mentioned, and exercise. Go figure. Going
Mm-hmm.
for a walk
Go figure.
for 20 minutes. You don't have to be going to triathlon. Just a simple walk around the block, walking up the stairs instead of taking the elevator, having water instead of juice and soda all the time, and having
Right.
fresh fruits and just some basics. How about stop smoking? Like basic stuff. Go figure. Oh, I feel better. I if we did those
Mm-hmm.
basic things. My friend works in the hospital, so during the pandemic, we all know a lot of misinformation and stuff was going around, and things that were good, they said it was bad, and things that were bad was good. But she said, because I
Mm-hmm.
told her what happened to me, and right away when I got it, um, I moved into the other bedroom because I had more sunlight, and I literally put the bed right to the window. And as soon as the sun rose, it was hitting me. So I told her what I was doing. She
Mm-hmm.
goes, "You know what?" And she laughed, not like haha, but like she goes, she's in the hospital and she works as a, I don't know what she works, I can't remember. And she said that's what they're doing. They have found in
Mm.
other countries that the sunlight is doing something. The brain is the vitamin D, and it's helping people fight off the infection and get better faster. So they started taking the beds, putting you almost at a vertical, so sitting you almost standing, and pushing you right to the window, right when the
Mm-hmm.
sun rose. And then they put you down. You have breakfast, and they'll put you back up to the window. So all we hear about is injections and this and that, and and all these companies, and they have the solution. But when you talk about regular schmegular stuff, nobody wants to hear that. That was scientifically proven. Sunshine,
Yeah.
fresh, those who could walk, they would get wheeled out to go get some fresh air, and they recovered fine. If you didn't have
Yeah.
pre-existing, extreme pre-existing
Condi-
conditions. If you had
mm-hmm.
pre-existing conditions, they found other things to mitigate. But a lot of the people that I know that were of my age group, that somebody even at work died, they were morbidly obese. So they're talking
Mm-hmm.
about the infection, but they're not talking about obesity. Blessings Planter Garden, the obesity and the high amount of sugar in our diet, which caused the problem. And I can attest to that because the foolishness that I was eating made it for me worse. When I removed those food
Right.
items, it was, I could see the difference right away because it wasn't feeding it.
Yeah. And Planter Gone, what's up, bro? Because that's exactly who I was finna mention. He make a good point several times, and I'm living over here, so I can see it myself. Uh, when I mean, if you get a cold or something, or if you get, the sniffles, there are certain herbs that you can maybe make a tea from that can kind of help bring you back without over the counter medication. But what I'm learning, and what was emphasized by Planter Garden, I think you've alluded to this a couple times. When you eat healthy, or when you consume herbs or certain plants and stuff, that's on a consistent basis, so it can be a preventative measure versus trying to make it a corrective measure after you've kind of done
Exactly.
certain things.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So if you
You
think
mentioned that
that
on,
you've
on your
put your
live yesterday, which is what because I was going in a
yeah.
certain direction and I had notes, and then something dropped into my mind Thursday, and I wrote it down on, I have a, on my piece of paper of topics. And
Uh-huh.
then when you said what you said yesterday, I'm like, that's confirmation right there. You co-signed it and didn't know you were co-signing it. And I'm like, that's exactly, because you guys started with the beavers, and that was like 4 hours of laughter. Then we got like, which was good because laughter is excellent medicine. That's also good. Like
Yes.
we do need to laugh and just be silly sometimes and have fun. This should not always be serious all the time. So that's very good. That was a good medicine. I think all of us were crying. We had to get tissue. It was a whole thing. But you got to the herbs. I think Carmen was talking about her grandmother, and then you went into that,
Yeah.
and exactly, we're looking for magic pills. There's no magic pill. You have to be
Right.
putting these things into you consistently so that they can help prevent. And then there's some herbs you can use concentrated to kind of give you that boost if you have a cold or
Mm-hmm.
flu or bronchitis, whatever that other thing may be. But we need to go back because that just reminds me. There's an article that came onto my feed. I think D sent it to me. I don't have it ready, but let me just read it. Well, I'll just give you the highlight. So in Ontario, I live in Ontario. There is a shortage. Let me see, because she sent to me, and that just ties right in. Hold on a second here. Where'd she send it to? Was it WhatsApp? I don't even know. She's sending so much stuff. Sometimes I can't keep track. But something came on my feed, and it's there's no children's medication that's available right now on the shelves. The shelves are empty. So cough syrups and
Mm.
all those kind of stuff is like at an
Oh
all-time
wow.
low. And a lot of Canadians in Ontario are going to the States to get it because they can't get it here. So what they
Yeah.
mentioned was that there's a rise in like chest infections in children in the last
Mm-hmm.
few weeks, months. And they're
Yeah.
saying, I'll have to find the article and I'll put it in the description after because it's, they're saying that, the flu came early. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. I found it. They're saying, Yeah, a Canada-wide shortage of children's medication. I'm taking this from CP24 News to give them credit for the article. It's just for fair use. Amid the surge of respiratory infections, has forced some Ontario parents to head south of the border to search for solutions. A pharmacist is seeing an average of 5 to 20 excess sick children a day.
Mm.
There's a lineup forming at most nights where people are asking questions about one medication or another, and now the shelves are pretty much empty. So I think somebody was saying, I think Erica was saying, she don't give her kids medication,
Medicine. Yeah.
medicine. It's like
Yeah. Medicine.
have
Yeah.
a drink, have a banana if you need potassium. Like there's other solutions before it gets to medication, if it even gets to that. And people, yeah, her granddad has a lung infection and blood Tylenol, and they can't find Tylenol, they can't find cough and nothing. They have a picture of the shelves empty.
Yeah.
So now they're going over the border, which is going to cause a shortage in Buffalo and like Detroit, because that's the border towns
Right.
for you guys, the Americans, to get their stuff. But if you can't get it, what you gonna do?
I don't know, but hey, Urban, can I say something? Look here. First time in my life living over here in Tanzania, actually going to a doctor. I mean, a real doctor, legit doctor, uh,
Mm.
all the bells and whistles, right? Legitimately sit you down and ask you, have you tried home remedies? Not, they don't say home remedy, they don't call them that. Like literally talk about certain plants and certain herbs that are recommended by the doctors over here before. I mean, it's this whole vibe, this whole thing where pharmaceuticals are legitimately a last resort. Like you said, and depending on the circumstance, yeah, sometimes you may need surgery, sometimes you may need um, whatever you need, prescription medications, whatever. But for the majority, it's always a holistic approach before anything else, which absolutely blew my mind. I think I told you about this before. A few months back, I had a little stomach issue. I was wondering if I maybe had a parasite or something, because if you don't wash out your fruit, you can get certain things from fruit. So I went to go get checked, get the lab work, see if I had any issues. Lab work came back fine. Um, but he was like, "Oh, well, maybe you should drink some of this tea until your stomach settles." Now they did offer me and give me some medicine to go ahead and just flush it, make sure I was good. But the holistic side was just as much of a suggestion as the potential medication. And I think had I just been a Tanzanian versus a Westerner, I don't think he would have really kind of pushed the medicine at all. I don't know. Is it like that in Jamaica?
Usually, like I had to go to the doctor a few times in Jamaica because I needed Benadryl because I
Mm-hmm.
must have had a reaction several times. And it's, I guess, when age, some things, like I got a mosquito bite and it literally swelled up like a big old, like a bee sting, like I'm allergic to something
Yeah.
kind of, and I don't know what happened, but he had to. I showed him, and my hand was like literally locked. It was so fat that I couldn't even move my fingers. I
Yeah.
just was,
Yeah.
and I had to get a Benadryl. They had a different name for it, but it was basically Benadryl. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I had meds because I had to, and but usually I have aloe vera, I have certain skin things, I have castor oil, I have we have all kind of something, fruits and leaves and stuff to make bush and tea and remedies. But I've had a few incidences where I needed to have medication because I was going to get an infection, and
Mm-hmm.
I scratched myself at the beach on the pier,
Ouch. Oh
on the
man.
rock. I banged it by accident, scratched my shin. I'm in salt water. I didn't think anything of it. Rinse it up. I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
salt water is cleansing. Went home. I put aloe
Yeah.
vera on it. Da 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 da. And then I had to come back to Canada. When I came back, I'm like, it was so itchy, and I had to go. She goes, no, it's infected. It's something's wrong. It's infected. I put Dettol. Like I did all the regular things, but something was on those rocks, I guess. So they had to take some pills, and those pills were so big. It's like horse pills, and for
Horse pill.
3 to 5 days. And those pills made, like I told the nurse, I go, it's making my urine stink. And she goes, it's the
Mm-hmm.
medication. It's literally
Yeah.
like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this?
Right. Right.
It was the
Right.
medication. So she goes, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Take it for the days that you're supposed to, and then drink a lot of water and
Mm-hmm.
clean out your liver and stuff. But yeah, but no, usually it's a bush tea. It's what are your symptoms?
Yep.
Sometimes it can pass. Sometimes it's just a deficiency. But in terms of medication, no, very very minimal. But most times when Jamaicans go to
Yeah.
the doctor, it's because it's a serious problem. They themselves
Same
go to
here.
the
It's
bush
the same. Yeah.
doctor, they go to grandma so and so, they go to the
Yep.
herbalist in the town, but they go for something more
Mm-hmm.
serious. And it's usually like, heart attacks, strokes, pneumonia, like something a bit more serious. And unfortunately,
Right.
because they can't afford the healthcare, sometimes that's really the reason why they don't do well, is because they don't have the money to pay to get the care that
Same
they
here.
need. Yeah.
It is the same here. And sis, you touched on something real important a while ago that I wanted to say something about, and you just reminded me. Um, so like April and I, we took care of my mama for in her end of life care, and when you said these nurses and some of the staff and even some of the doctors, uh, I'm gonna tell you something that's disgusting in my opinion. Now, I see a whole lot of TikTokers and even some YouTubers. Uh, One of the most disgusting things in the world to me is to see these medical professionals. I don't care if you a CNA, you are still a medical professional. Get on these public internets and mock people, like you said, at the absolute lowest. At the absolute lowest. I mean, some of the conversations and videos they make, it has to be right on the cusp of bordering violating some HIPAA laws. I don't know what y'all call y'all version of HIPAA up in Canada, but in the US, that's like, Privacy Act, medical privacy, discretion, whatever. And I see these folk get on here and they laugh at people. They talk, oh, this person ain't really sick. Oh, you I just see it's bad. It's bad. I don't know how I came across that kind of stuff, but the more you watch something, the more it comes into your feed. And I just I don't know.
That
What
that's
what are your
it's
thoughts
just
on that?
it's very disgusting. And I'll give them grace because sometimes we're immature and we don't realize how wrong something is. Because I know I've been there and I had
Mm-hmm.
to have been told, like, that's not really appropriate. And once you see things, you're like, okay, yeah, that wasn't right, and you don't do it again. So sometimes it's because it's been regular practice and they're all doing it too. Like everyone's saying stuff and that you think it's normal. So that could be part of it, that they really don't realize how rude
Mm-hmm.
and degrading and disrespectful that behavior is. But when you call them out on it, sometimes they really didn't mean it that way. They didn't realize how damaging it is, but it is damaging and it's disrespectful. And
Yeah,
I
it
think that needs to
is.
be taught in the programming, that you're there to care, if even if you're a caregiver or quote unquote cleaner, because those who clean the hospitals are just as important as the doctors, because
Absolutely.
they gotta clean the crap. And I've seen,
Yeah.
and that was one thing I did at the hospital. I was friends with the cleaners, and I even asked them, "What are you using? Why are you using it? Is this really disinfecting? Like, 'cause I'm curious. Like, is this killing
Mm-hmm.
germs and
Mm-hmm.
bacteria? Because I need to know that the place is clean as a visitor, so that when I touch something, I'm not touching things from last year's patient." And she went through
Right.
and explained to me, yeah, because I was going there and I would wipe everything down and stuff, and even then they don't clean everything. They don't. So you got to clean the handles of the chairs and the bed, and I made sure I
Very
cleaned,
true.
because I've been in the hospital enough times to know that that's part of why people come out sicker than they were before, because they're exposed to other things, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
sanitary, it's not clean, and that you can't open a window in the room, so you're just literally breathing in the same air from the last whatever week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't understand the power of the tongue and their words. They don't understand what professionalism is. And I was on a live, I think I mentioned it before. I was on a live a few weeks ago, and somebody from another country was mentioning something on the live that I happened
Mm-hmm.
to be on, and I found it inappropriate. So I said to her, "Are you fat shaming?" or something to that along those lines. Are you fat shaming?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because she was talking about her patient. Well, she must be a PSW. We call it personal support worker, where someone's aging and they're still in their home, and
Oh,
then
okay.
the
Okay.
family brings you in to help with the bathing, the cleaning, um,
Yeah.
folding laundry, and feeding them, and that kind of stuff. But you're not a
Yeah.
nurse. So she
We
was
call them home
saying that the
health care
person,
in the States.
yeah. So she is in another country. She's of another nationality in another country taking care of somebody who the family's, paying her to take care of the elderly. So I took
Mm-hmm.
a offense to that, because you're, first of all, you're fat shaming, number one. Number two is
Yeah.
you're speaking about a current patient or current client, and you're living in their
Right.
home as a live-in caregiver, and you're speaking publicly negatively about their family member. To me, that's
Right.
again a no-no. And
Yeah.
even if you're not living there, you don't speak about current patients or clients. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
my PSWs for my mom did not do that. We are letting you in our home, whether you live there or not. You're seeing how we live. You're getting an intimate view of the inside of our home and how we live and work and stuff. And it would be respectful to keep your mouth shut, whether you agree or
Mm-hmm.
disagree, or it's different culture, or you're not used to this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Whatever could be used as an excuse, just shut up. Basically, shut up. And when I said something about it, oh, no, 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 I'm not, I wasn't, I didn't mean like that. And then other people were coming in. Oh, maybe you didn't understand. So again, I'm having my own conversation by myself because I'm watching the live, but I can't say it because they can't hear me. But I said it to myself, like, do you really think I don't
Right.
understand the English language? You are
Right. Right.
you speak English as a second language. The one language I'm
Mm-hmm.
perfectly clear on is English. So you're telling me that I don't understand I understand what you said. You don't
Right.
understand what it means. That's the difference. And you're making it seem like I don't know English. She doesn't know me, doesn't know my gender, my race, nothing, just knows like the acronym, my name, Urban Gardening, and saw me say something about, are you fat shaming? Oh, maybe you're offended because maybe you're fat or something. Like, don't be like someone else was coming in saying something.
Wow.
I'm
Are
not
you
being sensitive
serious?
because I'm fat. I'm being
Are you
sensitive because you're
serious?
speaking about a client who is, maybe she's fat. So what she meant
Wow.
to say was, when she explained, she meant to say, because the person is bigger, it's hard for her to maneuver. And I can understand that because my mom was a big lady. And yes, you have to get a lift sometimes to maneuver so that you don't injure your back as the caregiver.
Yes. Yeah.
But you didn't say that. You said
Exactly.
about her. So you need to choose your words, not me at that misunderstanding. And it was, oh, I didn't mean. So I didn't type anything else because I'm not going to sit here and type a whole essay when I could just talk to you to your face. They
Exactly.
didn't. They didn't bring me up.
Exactly.
So they didn't bring me up. They didn't offer me to come up. But I marked her name in the back of my mind and like, yeah, I'm going to watch you, Rich, because I'm like,
As you
you're
should,
rude.
sis.
You're rude. I called you on it, and you didn't like it. And then people are
Mm-hmm.
defending her as if, listen, I speak perfect English. I have no problem understanding the written and spoken word of English. You do not know
Yeah.
how to speak English. And because English is your second language, you don't understand that certain words don't translate well from your language to English. And I can understand that
Mm-hmm.
and be sympathetic because I'm like, she did not understand that in her language, that may be a matter of fact statement, but over in English,
Right.
it's degrading and rude. So
Very.
she was like, oh, defensive. But I'm not sorry I said it. That was rude. You do not, if a patient is fat, the patient is fat. There's nothing you can do about
Period.
it. And they certainly can't go jogging now at that age and at that health to lose any weight.
Right.
So it is what it
Right.
is. So, in my opinion, shut your mouth. You are hired
Yeah.
by the family
Yeah.
to help and care for the patient. Anything else, shut your mouth. If you are having difficulties maneuvering the person, that's when you bring the family in and say, can you get a lift or a special bed that can, things that will help
Mm-hmm.
you take care of the patient safely for yourself, your back, and not to harm the, have them fall down or, because it's a very serious job, very dangerous.
Of
You have to
course.
make sure they don't
Of
hurt
course.
themselves or injure themselves, but don't insult people.
And that's the biggest part, sis. It's the insulting part. And unfortunately, I know you have siblings. A lot of the care was for my mom was done, primarily through myself and my wife. And if nobody else really gets anything from this conversation, the importance of being an advocate for your loved ones when they're in a vulnerable state where they can't really advocate for themselves the way that I'm sure they wish they could. Man, hey, look here. If you we have to take care of our people in need, be it a parent, be it a sibling, be it whoever it is that finds themselves in the need of any level of consistent medical care, whether it's hospice, whether they in and out of the hospital, whether you have I think you call them a PSW or something, someone in the home,
Yeah, yeah.
home health aide. You got to watch these folks. You have to watch these people. You need to critique them. That don't mean you have to be rude or nasty or mean or whatever. But I would have did exactly what you did because um, I will forever wonder some of the things that happened during the I don't know how you refer to that thing that happened
Oh,
that started in
I call it
2020. You know
the
the
pan.
thing
I call it
the
the pandemic or the, I don't know, the flu. I don't know. I call it the kofifi.
the pandemic.
I,
Okay,
the kofifi. I took
I
it
ain't want to.
from belt
Yeah,
loop.
okay, the kofifi, the kof, yeah, the
The
kofifi.
kofifi.
So we'll call it the kofifi. Um, the things that happen um in medical facilities across the country and across the world when people didn't have family that could be right bedside to monitor, witness, interject, approve what medical staff was doing with your loved ones. We don't even know what the ramifications of that are now, 2 years later. We still don't know. So
Well,
absolutely, when you
you just
have the
said it.
luxury to
You
to
you
jump in,
you just said it, because over here and in certain countries they
what?
were forcing children
Mm-hmm.
from 5 and up, I think it was,
Uh huh.
to get immunization, or I guess we'll call it, get the
The,
solution.
the
They got the
yeah, yeah.
solution,
The thing
and
thing. The thing.
the
Yeah.
thing, and then they're
Yeah.
saying now there's, oh, the flu came early, so that's why they're sick. And I keep saying to people, well, they didn't get this is what they're telling me. They're being facetious, mind you. They're like, well, they didn't get the fourth and the fifth and the sixth one. And I'm like, if you got one, two,
Mm-hmm.
and three, you got one, two, and three, and you
Yeah.
got it, and you have
Yeah.
antibodies, plus you're of a young enough age, why do you need 4, 5, and 6? What's coming around now is definitely what's the word? It's been mutated and it's weaker. It's more contagious, but it's less deadly. These new versions of it. That's what happens over
Mm-hmm.
time when
Mm-hmm.
things evolve. So why are they getting all these respiratory and other problems? Could it be that the solution is now a newer problem? No comment.
Woo, that's a
Because
question.
because
That's a question.
because they said in the beginning, and this is a problem, not the problem, this is the thing. People forget things very quickly. In the beginning, they said it's only people who are high risk, the elders and this and that. And young people are not concerned about, they will bounce back. Then a few
Mm-hmm.
younger ones had, demised. But again, it was due
Mm-hmm.
to obesity, because some of these kids be fat, 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 and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
You may be young and healthy,
Yeah.
quote unquote young and healthy, but you are morbidly obese. And the ones that did,
Mm-hmm.
I saw on the news, when I looked at them, they were severely overweight. And overweightness can be linked to a high sugary, consumption. And sugar makes it multiply and duplicate quite quickly, as I've come to research and find out. So they force a lot of people, oh, you need to get it, you need to get it, you need to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was this rhetoric about you have to get it to protect other people. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
How is
Girl,
my
you going
immune
somewhere. You saying
system like,
something.
and I'm like, is it just me? And I'm asking people, is it just me? And some people are like, wait, no, you have to do it, because if you get it, then you won't get it so bad. And they're just repeating the rhetoric. And I said, are you thinking
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
yourself? If you're getting something for you, it's for you because you need it. But they're propagating this, get it
Yeah.
for you to help everybody else. And if you don't, you're selfish. Well, maybe some of us should be selfish because there hasn't been enough data. Oh, you're just, because you're black, you're not trusting because black people are not as trusting of the medical professional for good reason. For good reason.
Yeah.
Good
Go look at
reason.
history.
Look at the
Yeah.
history. And not just, the whole diaspora, for good reason. So, and all the gynecological testing that was done on women without anesthesia, on slaves, to test theories and test things, I don't really have a trusting relationship. And
Right.
nobody
Right.
taught me this. This is something that's just passed out down, I think, in our DNA. Because
Mm-hmm.
don't trust those people, don't trust
Yeah.
those people, don't trust those people, because we
Yeah.
come out the womb, don't trust them, don't trust them, don't trust them, don't trust them. Because it's just and it's innate. We just have it. And they're telling me this nonsense. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. If you go get
Have you heard about that
immunized,
article, sis?
yeah, go ahead.
Have you that the I didn't mean to cut you off, but have you heard about the Atlantic article recently? Why we should all just forgive each, move forward. This is not verbatim. I have to pull it up, but it's a
Hmm.
real interesting article that's saying, basically, let bygones be bygones. Um, it is what it is. We at where we at now. So what? You may have been right about most of what you said, but whatever. Here we are now. So basically, get
I
over it.
haven't even heard that, and I would
It's a
love to hear that.
oh,
Some kind of
I have
formal
to. I will
acknowledgement of
send
you
it to
being
you.
wrong and the rest being right. But they won't
It's
acknowledge it.
absolutely amazing. Have you noticed the utter silence? And I say
Oh,
this.
I've noticed it.
I have to say this, that I believe in everybody doing whatever they feel is best for them individually and collectively as a family. I never had a problem with that. But the
Hmm.
overwhelming pressure to do something and the treatment of, like, the questioning of my intelligence, because how dare I even ask questions? I'm still not completely over that, man. Like that's I
No,
gotta send you this article, sis.
yeah, send it. But people lost their jobs and their livelihood because they would not comply because it
So
didn't make
many.
sense. It didn't make sense. And especially if you already had it and recovered, then what's the benefit of getting it? And they were telling people that even though you got it, you have to get all three. You have to get the three. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you had said, okay, you have to get
Yeah.
the third one because the first two are void because you have antibodies, and then get the third one, people could have kind of wrapped their head around that. But to say you have to get all three when I've already recovered, something's
Yeah.
not right in your sauce. Something stank. The milk kind of smells stank.
Yes.
And then I went to the dentist last week. I went to the dentist 2 weeks ago, and she's asking me if I got my boosters and stuff.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, they're just down your throat. I said no. Why do I need it now?
Yeah.
I actually
Wow.
had it. Like it doesn't make any sense. I have antibodies that are actually more powerful because I recovered from it. So I don't need to get anything else. Oh, this is that. Why would I keep going to get the same thing? This is what people are actually going getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When are you gonna stop?
Yeah.
That it's not
Yeah.
working for you. And then they've even admitted that efficacy is like 3 weeks, 3 months. Like
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you can't blame the people. I mean, the powers that be. The people are just ain't got no sense in their head. because it don't take no lamp to see this. It don't take a high IQ to see this.
Right, right.
Don't take a high IQ. The people went and followed everything. I did what you said they're supposed to do. You know how many women I know personally, and I'm seeing when I'm in the written data, who have had their menstrual cycle nonstop
Mm-hmm.
since they got that. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how debilitating that is? No
That is
iron, no, because you're losing your iron, you're losing your
yep.
oxygen, you're losing, constantly losing. So now there's a lot of people now who are in line for surgeries and hysterect and all the other things because all the other meds have so many other problems that tie into that. There are people
Yeah.
who have heart problems as a result, and that it's not being linked to that conveniently. You can't tell me these
You
numbers are boosting just out of the blue. Like, I don't
yeah.
care what the topic
Yeah.
is. I don't care what the topic is. Use some common sense.
It's that went out the window. I don't think the world will ever be the same. Um, and I like to try and cross whenever I can intersect certain logics. I find myself wondering what is that even anymore? Because there are so many things that have never been a question in society before, but now all of a sudden it's a question of what is, and to think for yourself is almost or to at minimum ask questions is offensive to persons or people or groups that feel that they are smarter than yourself. I can't make sense of that. I don't see how it's wrong or it's unfair or it's asking too much to say, hey, before I go to this next step, something that could potentially be irreversible, is it okay for me to ask questions? Is it okay for me to ask this? And then here we are 2 years later, and like you said, the efficacy is being proven to be less and less and less. The WHO came out recently saying that your natural immunity is as legitimate as the thing, and also saying that
But for 2 years,
you know for
Mr.
2 years.
Mr. Facucci, is saying no.
Mr. Coach.
And other medical professionals were saying yes, and then they were silenced. Some had their YouTube things frozen and shadow
Yes,
banned and and
I
and and
remember.
strikes against them.
Yeah.
And how can you strike a medical professional who's showing you data and information from another perspective? That's
Mm-hmm.
telling us that there's being silence because another professional who's in immunology, all the different,
Virology.
specialists
Yeah.
are telling you something different, and you're saying no.
Yeah.
Misinformation. We need to start thinking for
Yeah.
ourselves because the same people who you just mentioned, the who's, I can't remember what I just read this week,
Mm-hmm.
but I read something. I can't remember what it was, but they were incorrect and pulling out in. Oh, someone was fighting the W
Yeah.
the who's, because they're still
Mm-hmm.
promoting certain food and dietary things that they know are unhealthy and linked to cancer,
Yeah.
and they won't change their. And
Yeah.
doctors are there disputing them and showing evidence. There's so much red tape. These are institutions full of red tape, and you're trusting them to
Mm-hmm.
give you, little old you, with your little old income and your little old car and your little old, house and your little old farm, to
Right.
give you accurate information. Come on.
Right.
It was
Right.
all a business. They
Right.
had they had jabs all through the warehouses and shipping them in to get them, and the governments paid for them. So the companies made their money. Then countries that wanted them couldn't get them because they don't have
Mm-hmm.
the paper to pay. It was very
Yeah.
political. It wasn't about helping and making people whole and better. It
Extremely.
was political. It was about
Yes.
economics. Who has the means to buy and purchase and has the buying power? And the countries who didn't afford it, and the African countries, shout out to them. They did very well. They had no issues because they were out sun, fresh air, exercise, and they did not eat so much processed food.
I have
I was
something else. I'm,
watching
I'm gonna
go
send you
ahead, you go
to.
ahead.
Yeah, we can talk about together. I'll send this to you, and we can talk about this together. There's an ABC article that went very unnoticed, and but for me preserving it, I haven't seen it since. No matter how hard you try to look, uh, scientists were baffled about the level of, or should I say, the lack of infection and contagion over here on the continent, and it's because of exactly what you just said. It's the lifestyle. For
But when you
once, I
say that,
guess
oh, you're
the
talking that's misinformation.
right,
Misinformation.
right, right,
How about reading
right.
the information and seeing the validity of the information? Because like we
Mm-hmm.
can't all be wrong, and only one person
Yeah.
is right.
Right. Right.
Like,
It's
I didn't
deep,
mean to go
sis.
on this
You,
topic, but it's just on. It's been like I read an article before you sent me the article. Before you sent me that article, I read an article. What was I reading? Because I'm reading so much in documentaries that it's all like meshing into one. But I was reading something or
yeah.
watching something. Yes, I think it was probably Instagram because I'm on Instagram a lot lately, and I get these little feeds from the vegan people and the vegetarian people that I watch, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of food ingredients and food products that are banned everywhere else except US and maybe even Canada. And they know that these
Oh
items are
yes,
linked
ma'am.
to sicknesses. First
Oh
and
yeah.
foremost, sugar, not including sugar. We know yellow number one and red this and that this and the third and then the more that I'm going into the rabbit hole, it's like a whole other deep pit I'm in now. I'm like, oh Lord, and it's like, yeah. So you're telling me I don't have to be a scientist. I don't have to be a medical. I don't have to know nothing about nothing. I know enough about the streets. And if somebody's allowing me to be
Yeah.
poisoned slowly, am I gonna trust
Yeah.
them with
Yeah.
act to give me
Yeah.
accurate and information to save my life? So all these who's and
Yeah.
the woos and the FDOs and then whatever they these letters and acronyms and this and that,
Mm-hmm.
they're all big business that is pushed by big pharma. When you watch all the news articles, news broadcasts talking about this for 2 years, who are the who's funding those news channels?
You better look.
All of
You
them are
better
being
look and
funded by
see.
big pharma, and it's big blows.
Every one of them.
Pfizer,
Every,
Pfizer,
yeah.
and Jackson and
Yeah.
the other one,
Um. Yeah. I know the.
maternal,
I can't.
maternal.
Yeah. Them. Let's call them
You got to
maternal.
find rhyming
I
words
used to.
so that people can keep up
What?
with the codes.
Right.
But yeah, maternal.
Exactly. Sis, when you said what you just said, we don't be playing when we say we can find Lay's over here. We can find a bag of chips, but it doesn't taste the same because it's completely different ingredients. We've said that before, man. There are so many. I forget the number of ingredients that are allowed only in the US and in Canada. And even these poor third world countries will not allow the ingredients in the food. And don't get me wrong, it's delicious. Hell, I wish I had a bag of hot Cheetos right now. Straight poison though. I know this. I know this, but
So,
you
yeah,
know,
you know it. But why is it delicious? No, let's talk about because that's exactly what I was, one of my topics to go on for a few weeks. But why is it delicious? Because it's not really delicious.
because
It's not. It's
it goes
not.
straight to your brain. It goes straight to your brain. The
Exactly.
chemicals in it react directly. I've studied this too, sis. I'm telling you, it is crazy. And
But
before I
tell
came
the
outside,
people,
I said,
it
I
goes
saw
to your
Gigi in the
brain
chat.
and it bypasses your
Yeah,
taste buds and goes to your brain. And that
yep,
signal is telling you
yep.
that it tastes good. But really, it tastes like
Mm-hmm.
cardboard with yellow dust on it. But because they know how to get to the sensories, you have
Yep.
now had that pleasure. Ooh, I'm gonna have some more. I'm gonna have the whole bag. And then you're
Mm-hmm.
addicted. And they know they're killing you softly with Cheetos, killing me softly with
Yes.
Cheetos. That's what they're doing. And
Hey,
it's a
can
serious
we
problem
admit?
because the problem now, is exasperated because now our generation is the one that has been eating most of the processed foods. Our parents were kind of dabbling into it,
Absolutely.
but we're that generation and the ones after. Look at all these kids and all their health problems. Look at the kids and the health problems that
Absolutely.
we're having. The food, and we sit there and
Absolutely.
we eat it, and we know, and like you said, we know we shouldn't. And the government will say
Mm-hmm.
you have to have self-control when they know it's addictive. But other countries
Yep.
have enough sense to know, so you know what? We don't want this in our food. We don't want this in the ingredients. It's banned. No more. No, 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 no. Our governments, you
Yeah.
need to have self control. If you want to be fat, it's
Mm-hmm.
your right to be fat and nobody can shame you. They know that fat
Yeah.
is going to bring them a lot of money in pharmaceuticals, in hospital
Absolutely.
bills, and in
Man.
fast food bills.
Yes.
That's all you are to them is a walking fat dollar sign. Big old
It's the
fat
long
dollar
game.
sign.
Yeah, big old fat dollar sign. It's the long game. And then I was gonna say I saw Gigi in the chat and they got some of their first eggs from some of their babies. Did you know the UK and the US, you can't even trade. That part of trade is out. You can't sell the same eggs in the UK that you like I mean in the US that you can sell in the UK and in other countries because there's so mass produced and there's so much that comes with it. And also, do you remember the story a couple of years ago where the bread issue with uh it's a
That
sandwich
ingredient,
company. I ain't gonna say that
the
an
ingredient.
ingredient in the bread. In the
You mean
bread,
you mean
it's this
busway?
busway. Thank you, sis. Busway. Busway in their bread, they have which I've eaten, so y'all don't think I'm being funny style, because
Yep.
I eat it too. And when I get back to the States, I'll probably pick up one. I'm just gonna be honest. The bread also shares an ingredient that's found in the foam gym mats.
I would never. I eat busway because when you're thinking of something healthy to eat, you think, okay, bread is
Mm-hmm.
not the best, but I'll get the brown bread with some lettuce, whatever. You're thinking that's a better choice, and this is how
Mm-hmm.
wicked these people are. That they know
Yeah.
you're assuming that it's just going to be flour, some yeast, some whatever, and
Right.
you're making it fresh every day. So why in hell are you putting plastic, whatever, in there? Because they're
Right.
baking it
Right.
fresh. But this is what they're doing. The ingredients in the food, because I want to do a talk on, is it's literally carcinogens, cancer causing.
Yes.
And then we march around with pink ribbons. Oh, we're fighting for this cancer, and it's prostate Movember for prostate, and we're fighting like a bunch of damn fools.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of damn, you can march
Mm-hmm.
from here to kingdom come. You're walking around like a damn fool. Because what you're eating on a day-to-day basis is what's killing you. And they know those products are killing you. And those companies are sponsoring some of these events.
It's absolutely insane. And like you said, man, I mean the if you watch your local broadcast, news, otherwise, who is the biggest sponsors? It's brought to you by X yada yada yada. It's like, uh, what's the game is rigged. I hope for everybody who really paying attention that over the past 3 years we've received a lot of confirmation as far as those were who dealt with accusations, oh, you're taking it too far, oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist, you this, you that. But when some things that were said turn out to be true, the definite silence just it blows me away.
Right. So while you have the same energy and the same loudness to say this is the correct information now, guys. No, 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 no. It doesn't fuel their cause. It doesn't fund their cause. So they just go in
Mm-hmm.
silence and this let's take away all the restrictions now. Oh, you guys can come back to work. People have gotten their letters to come back to work and get their jobs back. And somebody told me, oh, I'm not going back to work. I said, yes, you are going back to work. You're going to go back to
Yeah.
work. You're going to get retro pay, and then you're going to retire.
Yeah.
That's what you're
Yeah.
gonna do. And
Smart
she's looking at me and
move.
go, you are
Smart
gonna
move.
damn well go back to work. You're gonna take back the job,
Yes.
get all the retro pay, and you're going to retire.
Yep.
because you can retire at whatever
Absolutely.
55 or 60, and then you're going to go back home, and then you're going to have your home-based business like you're doing, and you're going to collect your private pension and your other pension. You're
Because you
taking the
might as
job back
well.
because
You
you
should.
yes. And she's like, I go, don't make the system make you dumb.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna like you get like so adamant like no, I don't need them anymore. Excuse me, you worked for how many years to get the pension and you're gonna walk away?
Right.
Go have a drink of
Right.
water and freshen up and get your head straight because you're going right back to the job and you're gonna smile and bop your head and you're gonna march in there and do a good job for 3 weeks and you're gonna put in your retirement papers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do. So don't
That
be caught
good.
up with the
You telling her
emotion and the
right.
hype. Have a plan and a good plan. So she's like looking at me. I'm like, yeah, you are gonna go
Absolutely.
back to work. And if someone tells you any different, they're not your
Good.
friend. They're not here to help you because you didn't work all those years to walk away from a pension. Because on paper, you've been terminated for not complying. They've changed the regulations. They're letting you come back. So you go back. You go back.
Mm-hmm.
If it's
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks or
You
three
go
days,
back and you get
you
what's
go
yours.
back. You get everything put back in the
Yeah.
system. You go back, good, smile, smile, whatever, and then you retire and
Mm-hmm.
never go back
And
again. That's what you do.
you kn- sis, when you talking about these here uh like going back to work, we I mean a lot of us are familiar with the decision that came down from the New York Supreme Court with regards to that circumstance. But you said you touched on something earlier, talking about these small companies, man, all over Seattle, all over Dallas, all over Los Angeles. It was folk who had been in business for some of these small mom and pop joints had been in business 20, 30 years. Someone with neighborhood like icons, stores, small store. They ended up going out of business for forever. But I could tell you where I could go in Seattle. If I'll tell you what was open, rather.
Liquor
You could
store,
go to any liquor store, dispensary, and all of your big box stores. That's where you
because
could
that was
go.
essential services. The liquor store was a quote unquote over
Mm-hmm.
here essential service. Because those who have addictions
Mm-hmm.
might have a problem. But getting depressed because you're locked in the house for 2 years and kids going through depression, that wasn't important. But the
Right.
liquor, we have to get our
Right.
liquor. And
Mm-hmm.
we sat there laughing. So people can get their cigarettes, their cigs, and their liquor, but I can't go and sit
Mm-hmm.
down and eat some food or all the different rules and you can't this and you have to put on that and you have to wear blah blah blah. I'm just like, make it make sense, please. Make it make sense.
But hey,
How about
sis, make it
promoting
make
exercise
sense.
and healthy living? Make it make sense. But this was
Yeah.
a good lesson.
It's
I'm
people.
glad it happened,
It
and now I
was.
can see more clearly. Now the rain is gone.
The
I can see
facts.
clearly now.
Facts. And then, it was other entrepreneurs who thought they was gonna get a forever lick because people was putting like 10K and 15K and 20K into bubble on my head business. You know what I'm talking about? Like with some of the different some people may have profited and still profit from some of the face coverings that are still being sold or whatever, but people were really throwing tens of thousands of dollars into what the world many believed at the time would be an ongoing forever inevitable set of circumstances. So let me throw 5 racks into this bubble on my head so I can go out to this restaurant and figure out a way how I can eat my sandwich with my bubble on my head. And I'm not knocking nobody in them, but I'm just saying they lost out too because they really legitimately thought they were investing in a long-term set of endeavors, and now it's bye-bye. It's just kind of gone, just faded to black, and here we are.
When you allow yourself to hear something long enough, it affects you. So a lot of people chose to
Mm-hmm.
listen morning, noon, and night to the news. And we learned already years ago, all they do is repeat the same crap over every hour on the hour. So why are you sitting there watching it?
Yes.
So you're allowing yourself to be indoctrinated with this nonsense. And then when I'm trying to have a conversation with people, they can't even think for themselves. And the best thing that I did was turn off the TV. It's not even on. I get my news from maybe, the feed that comes in. And if someone doesn't tell me, sometimes I don't know what's going on. Not because I can't
Yeah.
find out, but because it's not really affecting
Right.
me in my day to day. So why am I going to listen to these people talk foolishness and they don't even know what they're talking about? Let me go read the articles and let me go read the studies and get the short notes. And I was reading the studies and there were some facts. Like, this is the thing that people don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. They mix they mix a little bit of truth with a lot of
Yes.
lies. And people latch on to the
Yes.
one thing of the truth, but they don't see that the rest of it is lies. Like,
Exactly.
I'm just like,
Exactly.
are you really? Are you for real? And all I heard was 2 years. Not good morning. How you doing? What's up? So did you get which one did you get? Which one did you pick? The Palizer or the Jackson and Jackson or the Materna, the maternal? Which one did you pick? People that I don't even know. And I'm thinking, sitting there
Yeah.
thinking, okay, let me just make this clear. We
Yeah.
and you ain't friends. You don't even know what kind of toothpaste I use. So I sure as hell not gonna tell you what I'm gonna choose or not choose to put in my body because we don't have that kind of relationship. But everyone was just like, oh, that's all I talked about, and felt so comfortable asking people about who are you, the man
Yeah.
across the gate behind the fence and the neighbor of my dad. Oh, did you get the thing? Did you get the thing? Do I don't even know your
Yeah.
name. I don't even know your sir. I don't even know you. But we're all asking people, and people are
Yeah.
like, oh yeah. That's why some people you chat too much. Just have to stop talking and sit back and watch and listen. Or not talk too
Right.
much.
Right.
And they talk and giving out their
Right.
information, giving out their stuff. They talk too
Yeah.
much. They talk too much.
You
Then they
you
ask,
you right.
are you jab or not jab? None of your business. Went
Something
to the
got to
doctor.
fall on the HIPAA,
Are you
man.
jabbed or not jabbed? None of your business. Went to the
You know.
dentist. None of your business. All you have to do is
Yeah.
check my temperature. I'm wearing a mask and check my temperature because I'm required. I was required even now. Temperature, mask. Don't ask me no questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, are you
I
anti?
understand people.
I'm not anti
I
nothing.
know, right?
None of your business. That's the thing. It's none of your damn business. And that's the problem.
Hey,
We talk too much and telling people our street and address. And if we kept our mouth shut and let things play out, it would have been
mm-hmm.
much better for a lot of people. But they talk too much.
What a way to have a society just uh crumble. The fact that I mean it's other circumstances in life like that people make assessments and judge one another on. But when it comes to something like that, our family, I heard the stories. I even, I'll say our immediate family, everybody did good. Everybody did what they needed to do. And it was a lot of respect and a lot of understanding. And it was fine. But some people, families that I know, literally got more or less turned up, like torn apart, man. I mean, folk quit
Yeah,
talking to
that's
folk.
yep,
Cousins quit talking to cousins.
yep,
You can't go over to Big Mama house.
yep.
Uh,
You're not
it
welcome
was
here
I
unless you,
had
you
never
do this, that, and the third. And they want to see the paperwork to go
I
with
ain't
it.
never
I gotta show. But
yeah.
slavery was abolished. I am not one of those. I'm not showing you no papers. That was the earlier
Right,
generation.
right.
You're not seeing none of my papers. And I must go. I must
Yeah.
show a SKU card on my phone to go eat a burger. I ain't showing you nothing.
Man,
That's the point. It doesn't
it's
matter what you
crazy,
chose to
see?
do. How you chose to
It's
live after was the problem. And telling me I can't eat
exactly.
in there unless I show my papers. Don't tell this black woman to show no papers because that's a hot spot over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was South Africa. That happened all over. No. I ain't showing no damn papers. I'm not showing you one paper.
Hey,
But you can't come here and show you
I,
nothing and call the police.
I don't think it's over. I
No,
don't know how long this is gonna impact. Well, for one, in my estimation, I think it's changed the culture for forever. I really does. I don't. I really do think we at a point where there's no going back, so to speak. If you know what I mean, like how do
no,
you?
you're correct. it, and people are arguing about the to jab or not to jab or the no, that wasn't the problem. The societal
Mm-hmm.
change is the problem. And
Problem.
people
Yes, sis.
people did the same thing they did in Germany and call the number and rat people out
That's
in
facts, man. That's
2020
real,
and
sis.
2021 and 2022. That's what I saw. Wear your star, which is show your Q code on your phone. Wear your
Mm-hmm.
star to
Mm-hmm.
identify who you are and what you and then ratting people out because you're having a
Mm-hmm.
gathering and you're not supposed to and this and that. Really?
Mm-hmm.
We talking about hidden enemies. I
Yeah.
talked about hidden enemies an hour ago. Hidden enemies.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening. So it's not a big deal. Yep. The same people who you think is with you will call the authorities and tell them that your well don't have no meter on it to track the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those same people will tell them you
Yeah.
have only supposed to have 6 chickens and you have 12.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yeah.
So wake up and smell
Yeah.
the Ovaltine or the coffee, whatever you drink, and get it together because they've trained this generation to rat people out. Snitches don't get stitches. Snitches get
Exactly.
rewarded. Get rewarded.
Uh, Facts. And you oh, we ain't even talked about that yet. Man, you said a mouthful and you said a word when you said, be selective in what you share. Now we've been over here and we've shown the chickens like at the house. We've shown, what we grow around the house, but out where our business is, out where our land, that's like 6 kilometers from us. Now, you sitting in Canada, you could care less. The folks sitting in the US, they could care less. But for the people right over here in Tanzania, they can see the landscape behind anything I show, and somebody know where I'm at. Man, do you regular Tanzanians have to, when I say regular, I mean the native people here, the local Tanzanian, they have to pay for security for their shambas or farms. They have to have local security. Like you keep watchmen round the clock. They got a little house they
Mm-hmm.
live in and they stay there watching guard and stuff. We're not trying to pay extra or show everybody what we got and
You see?
exactly where it's
You
at
see?
because you can't trust everybody. So it ain't that we not trying to share or show y'all. But hell, we peep game a long time ago, man. You can't show everything you
No,
doing. You got to
no,
pick.
no. And you think only they care about it in Tanzania. Some people, as I said, they're wicked and bad mind. They have time to click, search, and go send
Exactly.
emails to Tanzania from Canada. And then before you know it, you're in a problem wondering
Mm-hmm.
who did that? Who did it? And you think it's your neighbors. It's not your neighbors. It's
Yeah.
somebody on the keyboard
Yeah.
somewhere else. That's
And
what I
like you
couldn't believe
said,
the
you
man
don't even
said
know
that.
who it is.
Nope, and you don't know who it
Yeah.
is.
And I'm back here. I see what DeMarco said. And hey, lurkers. The lurkers, man. You don't know who be looking at your lives or looking at your, it don't matter how many people in the chat. You don't know who all is paying attention to you. You the passers by and just being nosy or whatever, man. You don't know who these folk is or what their intentions for you is. And y'all
Mm.
know I believe in being positive. We believe in being positive. But at the same time, hell, we here on earth, man. You got to be legitimate, be real, and be grown about your business. Cause everybody don't have your best interest in mind. Uh, so you got
Yeah,
to
they
take it
don't.
for what it is.
And this week I had a bad experience because something happened and I heard about it and I couldn't believe that it happened. And I'm like, when you just, you're always surprised. You think that you know people and you don't, but I didn't expect that from this particular person. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, if they did that, really there's no hope. But you have to keep reminding yourself, people will do what benefits them. Point blank,
Yeah,
period. At your expense, at
and
the expense of family, at expense of a long relationship, at expense of, the loyalty that you showed for them. They don't care. They'll do what's going to
the
work
look
for
on your
them.
face and your voice say you more disappointed than anything. I don't know who this person is
Yep.
or what they
And
did,
I
but
and
you
I was
just
like,
seem disappointed.
yep. And I said, okay, good to know. So there was a conversation, and there will be a conversation because what was said after also upset me because something to the effect of and I heard this from someone else before, so that kind of also triggered me. But something to the effect of, "Well, I know you're gonna forgive me, so you know, whatever," kind of thing.
Wow. The arrogance.
That yeah. So basically,
The-
because they knew the person was gonna, it wasn't me, but they knew that the person was gonna forgive them.
yeah.
So you're gonna do me dirty in front of my face and use use my kindness as a cloak. Like I said, this has had so many layers. I'm like, man,
Mm-mm.
these people are mucky. But yeah, basically, because, but yeah, we are gonna forgive because we're not gonna let you block our blessing because that anger is gonna block us. So we are going to forgive,
Mm-hmm.
but not in the way that you think that you're gonna have a free for all kind of, willy nilly come as you go, do whatever you want. Oh no, oh no,
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Yeah. You
not
know,
at all.
if you burn me once, shame on you. You burn me twice, it's still shame on you. But you get me a third. Hell, actually, I'm a two-time kind of guy.
I'm a
Really
two
one.
time,
I mean, when you
and
show me
some
who
people you
you
get
are, baby,
one.
I'm gonna believe you. Yeah, you get one with me.
While you're
I
doing me the first
believe
time, I'm
you.
clamping on you. It's like, you twist up your head. You too thumping ammo. It's you too thump. Yeah,
Facts. Facts. Yeah,
because
baby.
yeah,
It don't take a lot for me
yeah,
to learn. All you got to do is let me know, and I'm
yeah,
gonna believe you, and we'll keep it pressing. It ain't no hard feelings. I ain't mad at you. You going with your life, and I'm gonna keep
mm-hmm.
it pushing with mine. But when you show me what that real is, baby, okay, loud and clear. I heard you.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Especially at this
okay,
age in life, girl. I'm old as hell. I can't do
yep,
it no more.
nope, ain't got no
And
time.
it's
Time is
okay
so
to exclude
limited.
people from your life. Yeah. It's
That's a
okay to
word right
exclude people
there.
from your life
Exclude people.
under the right circumstances. You know,
Yep.
I'm not
And
saying go
what I
around
said
throwing
was, I think
people
you said
away.
it. I think you said or somebody,
What's
but I
that, sis?
said it on Thursday. I said, yeah, all blood ain't family, and all family ain't your blood. Because I have
Facts.
family that's not my blood. They're not. And the
Mm-hmm.
blood that I thought was my blood, they I just learned that they're not my family. Because the way that they behave, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
You facts. Sis, I
Good
like
to
to say this
note.
here, man. Especially for parents. I know parents want to see all they kids be super tight, and they want to see everybody get along with their cousins and all of this. But blood makes you relatives. You're related. Being
Yes,
related
you're
and being
related.
family, two different things.
Two different things.
That do you
Two different things.
yeah, yeah.
And I
Some
was
of my
angry because
closest
I
people.
called my family. I called my family. I was
Mm-hmm.
angry because I'm like, you know, I would go all out for some people. I don't have to talk to you every day. I don't have to we all have our own lives. But the fact of the matter is, if I get a call and you need me and you need me to throw down, bring my
Mm-hmm.
bat, I don't even ask. I'll bring my bat. I'll bring my
Yeah,
like I'm on. We're there. Because we we blood. But then it's not
exactly.
reciprocated. So I said to I'm like,
Right.
no, I'm done. I have no problem sitting there watching you crumble in front of me. Well, help me. It's not my
Yeah.
job because you don't like. And they're
Facts.
like, oh my god, you're cold. I'm like, you have to kind of get a bit cold because you are going all out for people, no questions asked,
Yep. Yep.
on a regular basis. Then my dentist said to me, she said it to me before, but I think I actually heard her this time because she told me from before to get a night guard because she goes, it seems like you're grinding your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't think I'm grinding my teeth, but whatever. And I had gotten the price before. I was like some ridiculous amount. I'm like, hell no. So I got something this week off Amazon and I'm using it. And I was like, and then I was talking and my sister goes to me and she goes to me, yeah, I think you do grind your teeth because she goes, the other time when I was there sleeping over, she goes, you may have started to grind your teeth as you got older, but she was hearing, yeah, like that you're grinding your teeth. And it's probably with my
Yeah.
subconscious that's dealing with all these issues and stuff that's angering me. And it's coming out at
Mm-hmm.
night with me grinding my teeth. Because she goes, you're giving your
Yeah.
teeth actual fractures. Like I'm fracturing my teeth and that's causing cavities. It's not my brushing. It's not
Mm-mm.
my hygiene. I'm
Yeah.
fracturing my teeth. And I was like, and I heard her before, but I actually heard her this time.
Right.
And I'm like,
Right.
it's indicative of another problem. And that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
internalizing and I'm grinding my teeth when I'm sleeping
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of all
You know,
that's going on.
I, I think we underestimate the power of what stress does in our lives. And that stress gonna manifest one way or another. So either you
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge it and you accept it, like you kind of alluded to earlier, be it whether it's grief, whether you talking about just dealing with regular everyday life. Sometimes somebody to talk to can be a good thing, a group. Sometimes it's a best friend or a confidant, whatever. But y'all, this world gonna be this world. And that is another slow death. We done talked about the what you eat, we done talked about drinking and smoking and all of that. But letting stuff that you have no control over dictate your life is just like turning up a 40. Because if you sitting stressed out over stuff that you have little to no control over, that's as detrimental to your health and your physical well-being and your psyche as any harmful drug you could place in your body. Um, I think that
Yep.
comes with a whole lot of acceptance. You know, this world is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. We control what we can, try to be preemptive where we can, but uh, man, stress.
Yeah.
People,
Yep. And I
you
thought
know
I
that
was
when I look.
fine. But you're right. Your body, it will
Mhm.
manifest itself in other ways. And this is probably the key to the hypertensiveness that I have, that I'm doing a 50
Yeah.
million things that everyone's telling me to do and it's not working, but for them it's
Mhm.
working. So this is the root
Right.
cause. So
Right.
God has showed me through the dentist there's something that's there that's
Mhm.
manifesting itself when you're sleeping, because maybe you're trying to just brush, you're like, ah, whatever, because you don't want to ever make everything an issue, but it's an issue because you're
Right.
grinding. You're literally fighting in your sleep. I'm fighting. And I do know that I fight
Yeah.
in my sleep because I have a lot of dreams and I'm literally
Mhm.
fighting off monsters,
Mhm.
fighting off something, and and it's like, oh, that's no, but it's symbolizing something because you're constantly running and fighting in your sleep from some enemy or some monster,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's you need to figure out what's going on in the real world that's manifesting that. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I'm gonna do the work. I'm like, okay, God, I heard you this time. I'm gonna do the work. I want my teeth. I don't want to be with all these
Right.
gums, just walking around with gums.
Get you a partial, girl. Get you a
Yeah, I'm
partial.
like, I don't need no bridge work.
You
But
know,
that's what
I
happens.
think yeah, it is. It is. And we just have to try and accept certain things in this life and limit our stress and with the stresses that are unavoidable, um, find ways to either mitigate them or uh I don't know, reach a level of acceptance because after all these years of living, I've realized and accepted something that stress don't go away because you gonna find yourself in a new phase of life. When you're young, everything's in front of you, so you're thinking about maybe college, and then after college, you're thinking about that job, and then in between both of those, it's the pressures of being in a relationship or a marriage. How do I negotiate, navigate that, and however that turns out or works out.
Hmm.
um, and then you find yourself getting older and parents start passing away and friends start passing away. And then after that phase, well, you're in your own health. You can do everything right, but your bones hurt. You doing everything right, but
Hmm.
you wake up allergic to certain stuff. It's like, until you take your last breath, you're gonna be confronted with a whole lot of stuff that is gonna
Yep,
stress you out. So the sooner we learn
that's
how to
right.
deal with it and manage it, the better off we are.
Yeah. And that sometimes is doing that hard work, looking yourself in the mirror, because there's a lot of things that we can easily
Mm-hmm.
just push aside. And I was watching this video and I don't remember the exact wording. I'm gonna watch it again and I'm gonna like bring it up in another topic in the future. But like I don't know what you call it, your aura or something around you, and the aura has like almost like has
Mm-hmm.
rings, and each ring is
Yeah.
is a part of your life that your 7-year-old self, your 10-year, and everything that has a trauma or something that happened during those phases of those life, it's there. And you have to deal with
Mm-hmm.
each ring. You can't just skip. You have to deal with a 7-year-old trauma and understand yourself at that age and forgive yourself and move forward. And she was going through the different examples of how you have to learn how to deal with these rings because they're affecting how you live in your adult life. But we want to
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
just, well, I'm fine. You could understand intellectually that the person, like your parents, did the best that they could, or the situation was beyond their control. You could understand and be empathetic to your parents or your grandparents, you know, but you still got to deal with those hurts that you felt at those ages because those hurts
Absolutely.
are carrying with you, carrying
Yeah.
you through.
Hey, Stardust.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I need, a mouth guard to help with, yeah, because yeah, she came in. I don't know if you saw. I
Yeah.
was waving at her, but yeah, she popped in.
I gotta
But
look at the
but it's
chat.
just we have to deal with those old things that maybe you don't realize is manifesting, and sometimes it's just
Mm-hmm.
owning that you didn't know any better yourself, you didn't understand, and
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't mean to do what they did, and and like forgive the situation as your 7-year-old self, let's say, and you keep going through the
Yes.
different times of your life that are impactful to the person that you are today, and deal with those things, because it's like she was talking about weight loss versus waste loss, and a lot of us focus on weight loss and getting
Mm-hmm.
skinny and getting whatever, but there's waste in your body
Right.
and in your spirit and in your emotions that you've carried that is problematic than the weight. So if you focus on the waste,
Absolutely.
you'll start to lose the weight because you're going to be eating differently, because she's trying to eat alkaline, promotes alkaline eating and stuff. And I'm watching what they're saying and how they're living, and you're seeing the fruits of it. It's like there's something about that's accurate, because what we're doing to
Mm-hmm.
lose weight, we're dealing with the symptom, but we're not dealing with the root cause. Why are you eating what you're eating? Like you mentioned, the Cheetos or whatever, because we're in a system and a world that's rigged to have us addicted and eating these foods and keeping us malnourished and hungry. And we're searching for satiation that we're not finding, because we need to go and eat an apple and go eat a banana
Mm-hmm.
and go,
Mm-hmm.
eat something in its
Mm-hmm.
natural form. But even that's been tainted and poisoned because they're spraying everything. So we need to go back to an old
Absolutely.
way of living in the modern world, or
Oh, I'm.
demand changes in the agricultural system that has
I
put
meant to.
profit over health.
I meant to say that because it was another live we were in, and we were talking. I don't. It was me and you. We was on somebody else. I can't even remember who it was. Um. Uh. I want to say that this is one spot where I don't vehemently disagree, and it
Hmm.
saddens me to say it a little bit. I think Pandora's box has been open. I don't think there is a going back. I think what is this, 2022? I think in
Yep.
23, 22, folks will be so many generations will have passed from everything that we know now and knew back then and remember the before time and the long, long ago. People will be perfectly happy eating their gelatin cubes and their pills, and it'll be like the Jetsons,
The
and won't
Jets.
nobody
Yep.
have a problem with it. And
Yep.
that's the part. Won't nobody have a problem with it because enough people won't be alive to remember what was, to even know what they should be fighting for. They'll just know something's a little off, and everybody will be happy. Um,
That's exactly, yep, you've got it correct. And it's like we have to fight to keep those weight, because what they're giving us, the pill they're giving us, is killing us. And people don't understand
mm-hmm.
that those pills that they're giving you have a predetermined effect on your lifespan and how long you're going to be. Oh,
Yeah.
you're too problematic. Let's give you this other pill that's going to healthy,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll get rid of you sooner with less fight and less resistance because you're taking this now other pill. And it's all a master plan. And we're hearing a lot about, I think you're talking about or someone was talking about recently, the insects that they're putting in the food. Like they're grinding up, crickets and whatever, and they're putting in the food.
Oh yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
actually a plant, a manufacturing plant, maybe an hour or two from me, that
Mm-hmm.
does. They breed the bugs and then they grind them up in a powder. And
Yeah.
they're telling us, oh, it's good, it's healthy, it's a good protein, it's a this, that, the third, because they're trying to get us off of the meat and off of livestock, and it's ruining the environment and pollution and whatever. Okay, so I googled yesterday, and let me just Google the health benefits of eating insects, because maybe it's just me,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm just closed minded and I don't like eating insects. And what I found
Yeah.
so far is problematic. Is
Right.
problematic
Right.
because it's people
Yeah.
who have allergies to shellfish are affected. But what people don't understand is if you eat something often enough, you will develop food sensitivities to that item. So the
Mm-hmm.
people who don't have shellfish fish allergies may develop shellfish allergies. And then people ask, okay, what does the research say? There hasn't been any research. They're pushing something down our throats, literally, and they're putting it on chips and puffs and all the things, and they have the description of it as something else. It doesn't say beetle dust or beetle juice, bean juice. How
Mm-hmm.
about beetle
Yeah.
juice or whatever else? It doesn't say that.
Beetlejuice.
It's worded
Yeah.
something different, and unless you know what that phrase means, you don't know that it's insect powder.
Mm-hmm.
And it said so far that I've read, I haven't gone that deep, but it said that insects are prone to have mycotoxins, and they don't even know the effects
Yeah.
that would have on the human body as yet. But yet they're promoting us having crickets and I guess roaches and beetles. I don't know what else they want us to eat, and cockroach
Well,
milk.
well, look
That's
here. They
better for
didn't
you
know the
than beef.
effects of.
No, this
They
hasn't
didn't
been
know the effects of
researched.
what they did to us recently. It
Huh?
ain't been researched. What they it all goes together, sis. And look here,
It's
when it comes to
all
the
full
environment,
circle. It's one big.
it's
Where's
all
my
full
my my
circle.
my my globe? It's all full circle.
All full
And you
circle,
think it's
baby.
all separate, but they're rings orbiting the same planet. They don't
Exactly.
know, but they're
Exactly.
telling you adamantly that it's fine, that it's okay, that it's good for
Yeah.
you, but they
Yeah.
don't themselves even know.
And
Well,
for
when
real.
they don't
Yeah.
know. You're right, 2 years
They
of
don't
this,
know.
and people are like, "Oh yeah, let's just help the environment and
Mm-hmm.
the global climate change and the global warming, and I'll eat crickets with some jerk sauce, and I ain't eat no damn cricket.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
ain't no
I
damn
don't want
cricket.
no
If I
look,
ain't eating
look
beef,
here.
chicken, pork, or fish, I'll eat vegetables.
Right, right. And look. I'm gonna tell you something else. When it comes to this, because the environment, are there changes going on? Of course, there's changes going on. We could that's a whole nother conversation that I won't even ignite on your channel. But if you said research and you was talking about the benefit, the cons to it that a lot of people don't discuss or know about. Well, let's talk about some of the cons, because there's a big push for electric vehicles. There's a big push to make everything, to get rid of biofuels and all of it, not biofuels, of petroleum. Fine, okay, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But here's the thing: what people don't talk about enough. I'm over here in Africa. I'm one, two. You got, let's see, you got us, and then the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I'm about 2 countries away from where some of the biggest mining actually happens. If you do the math and start looking at what it actually takes to mine up this lithium and some of the other things that are necessary to make these batteries, you doing exponentially decades worth of damage for every battery that you producing that ain't even gonna last a full decade. So let
yeah.
me get this straight so I understand it. Now I'm saving the earth, we saving the environment by everybody going um electric. but it ain't a whole lot of places where you finna get these minerals from in the beginning, period. I don't know about no
Mm-hmm.
electric boats nowhere that's finna go from the west coast of Africa to the US. So you still using petrol fuels. You get them over there, and then you still shipping them with a train. They do have some electric trains, but I'm just saying people look at the bigger, undiscussed portions of what's going on. Everything ain't as cool and smooth as it seems.
No.
It's folks over here dying, working in mines, getting paid the equivalent of $1 a week, digging up stuff that's so dangerous that they are the people who I ain't gonna go that deep on your channel, but
Mm-hmm.
you get where I'm going. See,
Yep, exactly.
you get where I'm going.
And then
Yeah,
we're so disposable
yeah,
over here, like cell phones and stuff. And it's like if you can't even get nothing fixed, it's not worth it. So just buy a new one. And as I always say, who's paying the price?
yeah.
Somebody in another country that I can't see
Exactly.
is the one who's really paying the price. Why can't we fix things for a reasonable price? And my cell phone, I had to buy a new one. It wasn't worth repairing. It wasn't worth it. So
Deliberate, deliberate
all
urban.
all the all the components in that cell phone, nothing's really wrong with them. Just the screen, and
Nothing,
they won't
nothing.
fix it. I made the
Urban.
mistake, and I thought it was a good thing because you're
Excuse me.
talking about electric. I made the
Mm-hmm.
mistake of purchasing a electric snowblower, thinking that that would
Mm-hmm.
be good for yeah, the environment and just fumes and whatever, and just trying to be more modern.
Right.
And I had
Why
maybe
wouldn't you? Of
a
course.
season and a half, and it's been in the garage since then. That's why I have to shovel by hand because one of the batteries won't charge. Now, I found a
Mm-hmm.
bootleg solution online of how to fix the battery, but that would void the warranty. But I'm probably going to have to do that because to go buy one
Right.
battery is 200 something dollars for a new battery. And
Yeah.
they don't promote fixing the battery. I'm sure it's just a little fuse in the battery or something that's not like something small, but they won't fix it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
$200. And most times you don't buy one battery, you have to buy two new batteries because the device takes two
Mm-hmm.
batteries. So then someone said to
Right.
my dad, "Oh, buy because we're buying him a well, not for him, but for the property there, a snow blower." The neighbor who lived there, who just moved away, had a gas one, and he would do both sides because my dad's an older person, so obviously, and he would do both sides. He's now moved away, and he said when he moved, like, make sure you guys get a snowblower because you need to have a snowblower. There's no way you guys can manage. Never mind, he shouldn't be shoveling, which he doesn't shovel. He said to buy electric, and I'm like, I don't think so because he has a gas. An
Yeah.
electric lawnmower is one thing, but a snowblower, you need the power, and the power you need is not reliable in the electric. You need the gas, and the gas doesn't break down half as much. It's more reliable. And I've learned that I spent over $400 $500 on this electric snowblower that's just sitting there. They know they're not gonna
Hey, we
last.
live and learn.
They
That
know the
no, they're not
batteries
gonna
aren't
last.
gonna last. They know this, and then people have the Eslas, the
Mm-hmm.
whatever, I don't want to say the
Teslas.
name,
Yeah, the
and
Teslas.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when the battery doesn't work, and somebody said he couldn't get in because the car
I
locked and
saw
wouldn't let him
that.
unlock.
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Like there's problems with these vehicles. Never mind the fact that I don't want no one to have no kill switch on, as you said, the kill, and I'm be driving and I'm trying to get
Yeah.
away from it. Click, the car just stops.
2026. Get ready for it. I, I see. We both
But
old
but
enough to
but
remember.
let me
I'm sorry.
let me say one thing though.
Go no. Go ahead.
It's
Go
not
ahead.
2026. It's already here. They just didn't tell you that they can turn off your car. They
It's
can turn
just
off your
not
car.
mandatory, but it's here. But it ain't mandatory.
Yeah, they can turn off your car.
That's that word. Yeah, that's that word though. That's that word. That mandatory is the that's the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, it's
Yep.
already here. It's already here. Yeah, but I remember. Uh, I'm showing my age. You a young lady. I ain't meaning to include you in my old ageism. But look, I remember TV repair shops. I remember vacuum cleaning repair shops. I remember a whole lot of repair shops, phone repair shops. That was phased out of society and culture for a reason so that everything
Yep.
can be continuously repurchased, revamped, landfills filling up, um, So I just, if you create a problem and then help me address or fix that problem, you never helped me in the first place. You're not my friend.
Mm-hmm. Look at the you said it correct. Look at the cell phones. Before, the battery was a separate piece that you could take out and change. Because I had cell phones that I would just change the battery. When the battery got
Yeah.
swollen or whatever, you just buy a new battery. Now
Yep.
these new phones, you
Yep.
cannot open the phone because they know that you would keep the phone longer if you could change the battery. So you're right.
Exactly.
They are
Exactly.
designing it and making it inconvenient and more expensive to fix things. And we have
Same thing
slowly,
with cars.
yep, cars, you have to put in a cord and it tells you what the problem with the car is, diagnostics, and then the mechanic doesn't have to even
Hmm.
know how to really do much. They just have to know how to follow directions. There's no problem solving, troubleshooting.
We
There's no thinking. They've removed thinking out of most aspects of
exactly.
society in some form or
Exactly.
fashion. Even if you do have to still think, they've removed some of the thinking where it's very automated and AI oriented, and you just plug in whatever and it tells you. And there's no ingenuity,
Yeah.
free thought. It's being removed. It's being removed.
We we are 40 years away because I like to give 40 years as two generations. You in your 20s, that's when most people typically are used to starting families or having, whatever, getting married, whatever. So we about 40 years away from nobody having any context to the entire conversation we having, unless they feel they in a retro mood and they come back and they look at this video from 2022 and they like, oh wow, the before time, the long ago, people used to talk about how they used to fix their own stuff. All everybody going forward will know is phone, like battery. Why would I ever take the battery out? What did people used to do that for? Meanwhile, you and I actually live that. That's what this is deliberate. It's on purpose. This world moving in a
Yeah.
direction that we just can't. I don't know how we contend with it. But hey sis, thank you for having me up here, man. I gotta go
No
take care of some
problem.
stuff. I'm gonna be ear hustling. I'm gonna be back here lurking. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
appreciate you
gonna
for
I'm gonna
having
go a
me.
little longer, but wind it up. But thanks for coming up. Great conversation. Thanks for adding to it. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, sis. Appreciate you. Hey, and don't forget, y'all. We got to get on it. Y'all, Urban Gardener, you got your membership, right, sis?
Not yet. I'm
It's
almost at my watch hour. So once I get that going and get
okay. That's
monetized, then
lashes,
I'll
lashes, lashes, right?
yeah, but Lashes has her membership. Yes. She has her
Okay,
membership. So
okay.
she's doing her thing.
Yeah,
So
good, good, good. We
we're
trying to
all
pick up a
almost
couple
there.
people.
We're all almost there. Yeah. But thank you
Okay.
so much
Well,
for the
we'll be
support
supporting
and
with the
everyone run
watch
the
time
playlist
hours.
because they're almost there. Yeah, we're almost
Yes.
almost there. I need
We got you,
1,005.
sis. We
Well,
got you.
maybe less now. But yeah, thank you so much. Let me
For sure. For sure.
okay,
Have a good
yeah,
one.
you'll go down. Okay. You'll go down. Okay. But let me see here. Um there's one thing I want to talk about. This is kind of funny. So let me just go to that and then I'll wind it up. But thanks everyone for popping in. If I didn't see you, I'm waving while I put your name on the screen. But I don't know if you guys saw this article. This is so ridiculous. It's um give me a second to try to share the screen because this is not my strong suit. Um it's not easy to do all this stuff by yourself. You don't know what you're doing. Um okay, so I'm trying to do bear with me 1 second to find the right tab. Okay, so it's that one. Share. And I want to do it. Okay, you guys can still see me. Okay, good. It worked correctly. So this week on the news, it was hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw this story. Hold on, it showed the wrong thing. Hold on, let me. But I got it. Hold on. So this is the wrong one. So it's the other one. Okay, so stop and then let me try it again. Okay, it's that one. Okay. So this is the article, and tell me if you heard about it. So the TSC finds gun inside raw chicken at Florida airport, calls it a personal foul. Ha ha ha. So an item most foul tried and failed. So somebody on November the 7th, so just this past week, Transportation Security Administration announced via social media that they had caught an unusual attempt at smuggling a weapon onto a plane, a gun stuffed inside a raw chicken. The poultry in question was a raw Kikiri Quirch brand baking hen and held a handgun wrapped in brown tape inside the cavity. So I don't know if you guys heard this. If you did, let me know. Oh, you saw it? Okay. God. Okay, let me go back to the article because you guys are seeing it. Let me go back to my tab where I can see it. Um, the plot chickens as we barrel our way closer to Thanksgiving reads on Instagram caption from TSA, adding many tonally lighthearted chicken-based puns to their explanation of what led to this set of photographs we see before us. So you see the big old chicken. Where did the chicken go? The big old chicken. Let me play the clip. Let me see if you guys can hear it. Hold on.
Isn't your grandma's stuffing? The Transportation Security Administration posted on their social media that agents at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport intercepted a gun stuffed inside a raw chicken. TSA had a bit of fun with the incident, saying, quote, "This idea wasn't even half-baked. It was raw, greasy, and obviously unsupervised," unquote. However, bringing a gun on a plane is
And
no
they put the
laughing
brand.
matter. Passengers attempting to carry on loaded guns can be arrested or issued notices to appear in court and can face a civil penalty that can reach more than $13,000.
So I don't know why the person thought that that was a good plan. Let me pause that. I don't know why they thought that was even a good plan. It doesn't even make any sense. And they said glockadoodle doo. So for you gun enthusiasts, glockadoodle doo. Maybe it's a recipe for polo con pistole. So they mix cooking recipes with gun rhetoric and made these little jokes and little puns. Um, and it says, unfortunately, this isn't an uncommon scenario. Not that gun stuffed chicken specifically, but guns being hidden inside other objects at checkpoints being found out. So, yeah, let me go back to the chat now and I'll stop screen sharing. But that's what happened this week. Now, I, I don't think that's a good plan. How is a raw chicken? First of all, do you know how much germs is handling a raw chicken and you're carrying it to the airport, going through it doesn't even make sense, the hygiene of it. And how are you going to get the firearm in? Everything is x-rayed. How, is the chicken going to stop them from seeing? I guess they thought in their mind the cavity is hollow, so they put something dark in there. It will still look like a hollow cavity, but it's not going to look like a hollow cavity. You're going to see the shape of something inside of it that doesn't make. And you couldn't at least bake the chicken. This must be a younger person. This person is not didn't finish school. Hey, Shayna, the person didn't finish school. So you're traveling. And those of you who live in Florida, better talk to your Florida people because that makes no sense. The man decides to bring a raw, and they put the brand name of the people them chicken on broadcast. I hope they're gonna get more sales. So that's the humor for the week. Yeah, you're so desperate, desperation to get the firearm through, and I. Oh God, these people need prayer because why are you going to be going with a raw chicken? Must be, yeah, didn't make no sense. Like, just follow the rules, get the proper permit or whatever you need to travel and declare it and travel it with it. Obviously, it's not properly declared because nobody that's legally carrying is going to need to go through all that rigmarole. You properly declare it. You call ahead of time, I believe. I think they put it in a safe. You can't have no ammo. Like there's there's protocol that's understandable that you need to follow. But that is concerning for that individual. And it just makes people who have firearms look a bit ridiculous that you are putting it in a raw chicken. Maybe you should just rent a car next time and drive to where you're going, because this isn't the solution. So thanks for coming in today for my Saturday talk. It's been a bit. Today is going to be at 12 noon. The Everyday Life of an OCDist Chick will be going live on behalf of a birthday celebration for GQuat Miss Ellen Pankey. 2:30 is Carbon Q today. GT is going live later on. I'm not sure. He has a time set, but I don't know if it's his time or my time. But GT will be popping up. And I'm not sure if the chat is going to be on today for OCD's Chicker Hands in the Dirt. But if you have your notifications set on, that's great. Again, yeah, I'm leaving up. Well, it's been 2.5 hours, Psalms. It's been 2.5 hours. It may not feel like it, but it's been. I want to go to Costco and get some stuff. So thank you for coming in. Really appreciate the support continually. We have a good crowd here every week, about over 20 people. So it is growing. Thank you for interacting. Again, you're welcome to come up if you want to, as long as you show your face, at least in the basement, so I can see that you are who you say you are, because there's some trolls and stuff going around behind the scenes that you may not know about. And if people ask that, that's why, because there's some trolls doing some very disgusting things, and it can affect your channel and maybe get you in trouble. So that's why people ask, at least show your face in the background. You can turn it off if you don't want to be on the live, but that's why. Thank you for the support. Again, I need watch hours, so those of you who can run the lives, that would be appreciated, so I can hit that goal earlier. I know some of you maybe in the bushes. I have some collabs coming up. I've contacted some people, but I haven't followed up because it's just been a bit busy for me right now. So once things taper down, I can do those collabs. Thank you for the support for the Buy Me a Coffee. For those of you, there's a Buy Me a Coffee app if you want to support the channel that way. I'm not monetized, so you can't send me super chats or anything like that as yet. But you can buy me a coffee, and that's greatly appreciated to help go back to the channel. Some things I won't be showing, as I said earlier, because of some bad mind people that other people have experienced, and I have to just be more cautious with what's shown. Share the content out if you can. That's appreciated as well. I will be putting out more content and more health stuff that I am working on, and I was juicing and eating healthy. That was part of my channel description from the beginning, but I haven't been pushing out the content, so I am working on that. Again, thank you for those who supported so far. I have a microphone now, as you can hear, so that makes the lives go a lot better. I have a little light here. I'm going to get another one. Just helps with the quality of the lives. Also, whatever we discussed today, remember, we're not professionals for any aspect. We're not medical, psychological, financial experts. Always talk to an expert about what you need to do, but work on making yourself better and healthy. And again, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And before I forget, I may see you next week. I may have to adjust the time next week. I'm not sure yet, but I will post it on the community tab to let you know ahead of time before I actually schedule the live. I may have to cancel it next week. I'll tell you why later on, because I'm working on something that's part of my goals. I'm working on something very important. So next week might be the day, but I'll let you know. So check the community tab. If you don't have me on Instagram, put me on Instagram as well. There's more updates there and pictures of stuff that's going on. Have a blessed week, guys, and we'll talk more next week. Peace out.